I'm going to fix everything and direct everything. Let's see when. I'll do it while it's fine.
It says it's being live streamed.
It's already live streamed?
It gave me a little
There
thingy.
we go. Now we're live, I think. Yeah, okay. Awesome.
Do
Quick.
I see people's comments if I go
So
to the chat? Is that people's
I
comments under YouTube?
you have to go to YouTube. Yes, you can see the comments. I don't have it in the Zoom here yet, unfortunately. I have to figure this whole thing out. I might have to
Oh,
get another platform, honestly. But we are
oh,
now live, so I just want to say hello to anyone watching or anyone who will be watching later. Thank you to my guest here. We have here Anthony DeathSmiles, as you all know, and then we have a special guest, Nicole Josephine. She is a YouTuber with a really awesome channel, honestly. She talks about some really cool penny stocks and also I will warn you, she does have a bit of a potty mouth. So we are not we're gonna be able to say whatever we want here. I'm not gonna uh filter you, and Anthony and That Smiles as well, say whatever you want. So Anthony, actually, could you introduce Nicole? You've been following her and know her channel really well. And I just want you to do a little bit of an intro, and then we're gonna get into the show, Hover, and yeah.
Yeah, so I just went on YouTube just to see if it's on there, and I didn't see it. I don't see a live stream from your channel, so if I introduce her, I may be introducing her just to you three gentlemen, or you two gentlemen and myself, 'cause I don't see it on here.
No, we're live. We're live.
Oh, really? Okay, good. Um, yeah, so Nicole, if you haven't seen her before, she's on X, YouTube, and possibly other internet dimensions. And
TikTok.
TikTok, yeah, that's right. And she has a really good eye. She really does good research, and it's like a TED Talk. If you can find someone to give you valuable information, but also is very entertaining, and you got Nicole. She's very intelligent and very entertaining, and I like her channel a lot. She's got some really good 7 minute hovers because she does collages. She'll hit you with the bullet points of the different stocks she likes, but she has done a couple hover collages, which I really like. I like that one when you were like, I'm stalking these Robinson boys." I love that because that resonates with me because I'm stalking these Robinson boys too.
I like that they're active on X. They post a lot of their stuff. I like that in a company a lot.
Yeah.
Let me mention real quick the other live that I wish I don't know how I wasn't able to get it, guys. I'm sorry. We're in a new live here, but there's 9 people on there. I just messaged to go to this one, but wow, there was 9 people waiting on there, and we were not even live. So very impressive, and they're waiting for you, Nicole. A lot of the comments there were about you. So we're having some people join. Um, anyways. Anthony, you want to go over a little bit of the agenda because I'm kind of trying to fix the thumbnail and some things over here with the unfortunately I didn't get this live going properly. So, um, yeah, Anthony,
Sure.
tell them what we're gonna be going into.
Yeah, sure. So me and Matan and Death Smiles, we've been doing these 2 hour lives where, it probably gets lost in translation and we hit the really good hover bullet points like an hour and 20 minutes into it. And I'm not sure the attention of the TikTok brains nowadays. Some people don't watch a 2 hour live unless they're like a fanatic. I watch 2 hour lives, just saying. So today I figured we'd start off. We could do a little round robin. Everybody does a little 90-second intro of like why they like Hover, a message they would like to communicate about Hover, something like that. That gets us nice and well rounded off at the offshoot here. And then we'll probably have some comments and questions and so forth. And then we could just talk about, different Hover stuff. Nicole did mention to me she has some interesting perspectives about the minerals, mines, and magnets potentialities, and which I found kind of interesting because I didn't really think about it because I needed it to marinate a little bit. But she's a little smarter than me, I think, so she thought about some stuff a lot faster. So that's what I got to say about that.
So, how about we have Nicole introduce why she got into Hover and maybe just I guess her little pitch round robin. You can start.
Me?
Oh, do you want to go later? I don't know. Ladies first.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, I would say, what do I like about Hover? Well, I went into Archer in like November, and obviously Archer does really well. So I said when I was looking at other eVTOLs, because it seems like that's a promising industry, I like that Hover sits 7 people. I like that it's the hybrid because in the colder areas, I think they'll have problems with electric eVTOLs. I know there's problems with electric batteries at times in cold weather, and because it goes further. And the Robinsons kind of remind me of Peter Beck, like how they seem to really, really be, passionate about their engineering, wanting to be successful. They don't seem like they don't strike me as shady at all. So hopefully they continue this way. I like their background. So
So
that's
you're
what I
also
would
a
say.
fan of Rocket Lab, I'm assuming?
Big fan of Rocket Lab. And
Okay.
yes, very much.
I think a lot of
And
hover
yeah,
people are in Rocket Lab, interestingly enough.
when I went into Rocket Lab in the summer, after they did that French launch, but see, when I went into Rocket Lab and Hover, or when I went into Rocket Lab and Archer, at the time, I wasn't on margins. So when I opened up my margins, I was able to really, even though that's very not always safe. So, but that when I find something that is small and I really think it's going to do, I think Hover will be able to easily do what Archer does. Well, we'll see, obviously. But
Yeah,
yeah,
we'll
so
see.
I
I
wanted
mean, I think
Hover
everyone
because,
here agrees with you.
oh,
Um,
good. Well,
yeah, yeah, we are all big bulls, Anthony and DeathSmiles, all of us. All right, we haven't heard from DeathSmiles, and he actually probably knows maybe the most about Hover out of all of us here in the room. So let's hear his quick pitch round robin on why you got into Hover, and then we'll go to Anthony and then myself, and then we'll start talking about the chat here because they are blowing up for you, Nicole. So DeathSmiles, what's
Yeah,
up?
so I originally got into Hover. I really liked the design at first. I researched, got into the family lineage, the father and the grandfather. The grandfather was originally into the seaplanes and had a few things he put together or patented. And then Brandon's father, Brian, did the same thing, started running with the patents. And, I like how, Brandon is going to go ahead and follow that kind of family lineage. He's got his brother-in-law or whatever working there with him, and kind of keeping it all in the family, nice and tight, good ownership and all that good stuff. And I got into Hover, gosh, it was like June of 2024. I mean, it was on its way down. uh, I think I originally bought 100 shares at like $1.50. I think June of 2024, and then just kept riding it through the summer and buying, and then we get little pops and I'd sell a little, and it was just kind of playing it a little bit. But I really like the company. I really like the design. I like the hybrid concept. um, the patents especially. I mean, that's just, to me, that's gold. And the route they're taking with everything. All in all, it's just, he's a golden guy. I've said that before. And I really like Hover. I love Hover, and I'm deeply invested in Hover.
Awesome. All right, let's move on to you, Anthony.
So, what I prepared is a song for Brandon to communicate why I like Hover. It's called Mooning with Brandon. I'd like to sing it for you now. Just uh, okay. So basically, really similar to what Nicole said at the very beginning. I looked at like sectors that I liked, and then I tried to find a company that was misunderstood and left behind. And I feel like the nomenclature of what's a Cav X7, the idea that hybrid technology is so 2002, like a Toyota Prius, and people not completely understanding the lack of infrastructure being very strong because you could go to the jungle, you could go to the middle of nowhere. And I think there's a ton of designs, ton of ideas, but it's all about execution. And these guys not only have business experience, aerospace experience, but they even have all their military stuff, which is like, tactical execution mentality. And I really like the fact, when your back is against the wall, uh, there's only one direction you can go. And just like DeathSmiles brings up a lot, the stock was at doing that beautiful double bottom at 26 cents. And it's just kind of like, when your back is to the wall, there's only one direction to go. And some people are like, is it going to pull back? I want to get a good price and stuff. And it's like, the concrete hasn't even been solidified on this bottom yet. Like, there's still guys with tons of money that uh, only get in with their millions of dollars when they're like really sure about it. So I feel like this is such a good time to get in, because if you can have that sureness and that prediction with your conviction that they're going to do it, it's only going to go up from here. Because when it's up 500%, that's not the time to sell. That's the time to stay in, because that's when the big dudes get in that are going to be the guys that are pushing this up to the multiple billions of dollar market cap. It's not going to be me. I'm in the poverty level. You know what I'm saying? But not for long, because we're going to be mooning with Brandon, baby.
Yeah, I love that. I agree at the end there, actually. Until we hit $5, I mean, we're a penny stock. All the big boys can't even invest yet, right? So we've spoken about that.
Yeah, I mean, we were only at 24 cents 1 year ago, October last year, 24 cents. Now our new bottom's $2.40. So we're already 10 times
well, 42,
a year ago's bottom.
41, 42. After that would have been the worst. Yeah. Deep
Yeah.
Sea was not a good time for them. They were at 42 cents. But they're coming back quickly. And I like the Rare Earth Symposium that he was at over on September. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that one. The Rare Earth Mines, Magnets, and Motors. He did
Speaking
the
of
keynote
rare earth,
speech.
Tebow says Nicole is great.
Oops, I think
She had some insane picks lately, especially the rare earths. You want to mention real quick which are the insane picks of the rare earths that he's talking about? For anyone listening, they might be interested just to hear about
I
them.
think that they're going to do. I don't know if Hovr would invest in a rare earth mine. No, right? Or do some type of mining partnership.
Probably a partnership. I don't think Brandon will focus on building that's like a whole nother company to do that. Real quick, he mentioned
there is that one company that he was talking to on LinkedIn that went there. He was telling him something about how he had some magnets for his motors or something. So I have to go look real quick and see what company that was, but I'll look it up while you guys chat.
Sure.
Oh,
let us know.
And the MT propeller partnership. Oops. I'm looking up the MT. The MT propeller, for the MT propeller in June, that was a big deal. I think people overlooked that.
Yes.
No,
because
the stock went up right on that partnership the same day.
Yeah.
I have a video of all the catalysts, the days the stock went up, and I remember the MT propeller was literally like one of the biggest catalysts. So yeah, no, partnerships help when they reveal some partnerships, which might happen in the next 3 to 6 months, which is why Brandon mentioned explosive growth.
Yeah, the average person has amnesia to some degree, though. Catalysts come out in the stock market and people forget about them 3 weeks later. That's why, there's so many tickers, people get like overwhelmed with all the information. But if you really keep a nice timeline and stuff, you can kind of stay well grounded.
I think so. And building on good positions, that's important. And waiting, always being patient, because especially with pre-revenue companies, obviously Hovr's a long way away from revenue, but so is Archer. Well, I don't know how much revenue Archer's making in Abu Dhabi.
Oh, are they already? I didn't even know. They're already making some revenue there.
They're charging for the flights. You can look up Archer's like flights that they're doing. And that would be like I want to call it a pilot program, but they
Okay.
launched.
I'm really curious. What do you know? What a flight costs? Like average, like I don't know how many miles they even go.
Archer's less of well, they're going from like airport to places in Abu Dhabi or to Dubai, flying around there. I think Joby started flying too. In No, they haven't yet. I think Joby's gonna fly first in Saudi Arabia.
Hmm.
Hey,
Archer,
do you want me to blast through these comments really quick just to get them shuffled out real quick?
Yeah, there's a million things we
Yeah.
can go through. I was also thinking we can get in a whole rabbit hole of Archer right now, but people want to listen to Hover, so I'm not sure.
Yeah,
We'll stay focused.
I'll catch it up real quick, rapid style.
Sure.
All right, here we go. Full beams, TT. Hi, love you, Nicole. Ben O'Sullivan, love Hover. Hey guys, Tebow. Hey Nicole. Joe Phillips. Yeah, just moved over. Ha. Nicole is great. Tebow says this. She has some insane pics. Oh, you already did that. All right, here we go. Nicole, thank you for your enthusiasm on Hover. You got me into it. Joe Phillips, beautiful. In Hover, Nicole said so. My snot. He probably listens to you. He must be a chic daddy. That's what it is. She got them chic daddies on the speed dial, baby. And then here we go. Then we got Jacob Perez, loaded Hover 160. Tolga, why their CEO and other insiders sold shares. Let's stop at that one real quick. I did see Brandon offloaded like 40,000 shares or 100 or something, whatever. Maybe he's got some bills to pay or something. Who knows? I wouldn't look at it like a red flag or something. You know what I'm saying? You ever cash a paycheck? All right, here we go. Uh, Sir Peter Beck. Rocket Lab is my largest position. That's from Mr. Stephen Lynn. Ben O'Sullivan, once again, any thoughts on Brandon's comments of big growth in 6 months, milestones, partnerships, government contracts? This particular question is communicated on the live a couple times, so we'll probably get to that one first. Hover is
Well, we can stop there. Just get Nicole's opinion since us three have spoken on that multiple times.
okay, good, because I gotta catch my breath.
Nicole, what do you think of that comment? Any
I
thoughts on
can't see those
Brandon?
comments.
Any thoughts on Brandon's comment on the
Wait,
big?
what was it?
Well, for what do you think of Brandon talking about explosive growth in the next 3 to 6 months? Like milestones, partnerships, government contracts, he's asking.
Well, he got the Canada contract. I think Hover could get a Europe contract because if sometimes Europe kind of hates us right now. Well, I don't think they hate us, but they're not. But if they had a choice between an American eVTOL company and a Canadian eVTOL company, plus it's cold in Europe, so the Middle East is going to do fine with a hybrid because it's never freezing. Whereas in countries like Europe, well, Russia would probably go with a Chinese eVTOL, but I don't know. Maybe Russia gets along with Canada. No, I don't think so. But that it's going to be good for European countries because I don't think I don't know. What would Archer and Joby batteries do in a freezing environment?
That's true. Hover is one of the only that's FIKI certified, and yeah, they would definitely be the best probably for a lot of
I
Europe.
definitely think that Europe investment and well, I guess I don't
I
know.
actually never thought of that.
Because of all their drone stuff, but I don't think a Hover could like their drones issues in their airspace. I don't think Hover would help with that, but they might want to be more technologically advanced countries in Europe. So that would be a help, I think. That could be a catalyst, a Europe investment. Canada gave them investment, so that's good. They could get Europe. Who else? I think, did Hover get American Department of Defense investment?
In the beginning, yeah.
And then what happens to it?
They used it to build what they got now. And then the mailbox is still open for the next one, I believe.
Yeah, they did
When the
AFWorks 1. So
and
they
then
left it
what
open for
do
AFWorks
they
2 and
so
3.
when the Department yeah, what do you say?
I said they did AFWorks 1 and it left them open for AFWorks 2 and 3. But usually when you get into AFWorks 2 and 3, that's not really publicly disclosed.
Oh, so it's secrets? I like it when they do secret investment. Well, national security ones. I don't know.
I thought of something. I thought of something. Um, Okay. I look at people when they talk kind of like poker. Like I look for poker tells and stuff. Like when Brandon says we just do what makes sense. And then his next paragraph starts with, well, you know what would make sense because he's publicly traded company, so he can't specifically say. But I look at little indications like that. We like to do what makes sense. And then the next paragraph starts with, well, you know what makes sense for a company like ours. Then he says something. So I relegate that to a higher than 51% chance of happening. But when he was asked by Matan, what's this 3 to 6 months growth? Is it sector news? Is it specifically to you guys? He said, the logical publicly traded company response, which was, well, the sector is going to be doing great and we got a lot of stuff coming out and it's going to be awesome. But the very next thing he talked about was money from Canada. He just started talking about it for whatever reason. Like, yeah, that, obviously that'll happen. But if you look at it that way, I would say that's a very good chance of the next thing to come up. Plus, this is what I realized. The magnets, mines, and minerals thing they went to, coupled with their platinum sponsorship of this Canadian aerospace thing that's happening in a week, if you think about it, they're chinning and rubbing elbows with all the guys that are going to be getting this grant money because the minerals, mines, and magnets thing had technology. It really had three things. It was technology of Canada, the robots and all the stuff going on in Canada. So they were rubbing elbows with that guys. It gave him an opportunity to discuss another use case, which people didn't really think about because they're always talking about medical and military and stuff. But it's the mines too, because these things are off in the middle of nowhere. And they got fleets, Denison Mines and all these guys. They got fleets of helicopters, so they're going to need some Cav X7s. Boom, use case number 120. And then I guess the other one was just to kind of like, have a platform to give their Bloomberg thing. That was kind of cool. But anyway, I was kind of thinking of that. Like if someone said, Anthony, multiple choice question, we will pay you $5 if you are correct. What's the next thing? I would check the money from the government box. That's my prediction.
Maybe they get NATO money. That would be crazy. Well, I don't know how NATO, I think NATO buys things. I don't know if they invest in things like that. I don't usually hear of them like making an investment in something that they're not buying, you know?
Wasn't there a NATO magazine that they were in, or that was something else? What magazine was that? I may be wrong. I'm probably wrong.
Maybe.
There's a defense magazine article that just got posted a few days ago on Reddit by somebody.
Oh, true. And I think a NATO page was in that, I think, maybe, but it's irrelevant to Hovr.
Yeah, I mean, it was strictly a military magazine, though. I mean, everything in there was directed to the military.
That'll be a good one.
Their TAM sure as hell is big. If they're in military, drones, air taxis, all these different use cases. And then if they expand to Europe and globally, that's really awesome. So that's honestly a big reason why I'm in it. I skipped my round robin, and the reason is because you kind of all probably know why I'm in Hovr if you watch my channel, and you can just watch all my other stuff. But let me know in the comments if you do want me to give a quick little elevator pitch of why I'm in Hovr. Let me also mention, we should probably speed run through some of these comments. But if any of you have any burning question you want to ask Nicole or any of us, and in the chat, it's a little bit less nuanced to put a long comment. I am right now on the Discord live. So if any of you want, you can jump on and let me know, and I can put you on the microphone and you can say your question and say hello to Nicole. So I'll leave that option available. Let's quickly speed run through these comments. You know what, Anthony, you caught your breath. You want to do it? You did great.
Which one should I start from?
Right now we're at Hovr is my third biggest position from Z Stacker.
All right, Z Stacker.
Z-Stacker,
All
what's
right,
your
got
number
it,
one
got
and
it,
two?
got it. Then Z Stacker says, still scooping shares. Good on you, Z Stacker. He says again, might sell 1,000 shares of Archer on this run up and throw it to Hover. To be honest, wise choice, Mr. Z Stacker. Daydreamer professional. I think I know this guy. This guy's hot. Hover is 86% of my portfolio at this point. Oh, he real hot. He real hot. All right, here
His
we go.
profile photo is the Hover logo, if you look at that.
Yeah, I know. I think I know that guy from Reddit. I forget his name, but yeah, that guy's legit. Tebow says she had some rare earth plays that popped 75%. That's right. Nicole knows what she's doing. Tebow, critical materials are so. All right, here we go. Rip OOG whale. Yeah. MT pushed it past like 157 to 2 plus. That's right. People love a partnership. It's like Tommy Boy the movie, you want a guarantee, we can put that in a box for you. MT Propel partnership. Let's go. So then we got Tebow. Question to all you guys. What do you really think he meant with explosive growth? What could that be? We kind of touched on that. We could touch on that again. And then Jared Anderson says, is a Hover still a buy where it is? I think that's the next thing we should go over. Is Hover still a buy where it is? I think we should go over that as a group. Once I get to the bottom, looks like we got 10 left. Here we go. Yeah, Hover is, this other guy replies, Rip OG Whale says, yeah, Hover is a buy for sure. Man, it's cheap still. Amen. Daydream Professional, Jared Anderson, only 100 million market cap. About now, it's a no-brainer in the long run, 100%. And then Joel Phillips says, Europe loves Canada. We have great relations, just competing against vertical aerospace. True, true. All good. Not a lot of players on the field. Let's
Wait,
go.
let's stop right there real quick. What do you guys think of vertical aerospace? I don't like their aircraft at all. It looks just like a big, hefty, heavy, ugly flying beast.
Wait, what country is trying to produce this one?
Where in Europe is it?
I think it's London. I remember the ticker said London, I think.
Oh God, they're not going to be able to do it. They don't have any net. They don't have any fuel. What? It'll be the same as Lilium in Germany. What are they going to fuel their? Well, I guess unless they produce them in America or Canada.
Huh?
I mean, I don't have much faith in British companies. I'm sorry. I like British people, but all you ever see, if you ever watch DW News, which is a German station, all they ever talk about is their energy crisis and how much energy is going to be. And they're worried about people, regular people heating their homes. So how are they going to power all these factories for? That's the one thing too with Archer, their Stellantis partnership. I think that makes it. I don't always trust Stellantis. I mean, obviously they've been around a long time. They're 34. I think they have 34 other companies that are under them, but I don't know.
Well, their
You're
I wouldn't
stock
right.
sucks. I
trust
know that.
So about vertical aerospace, they are in the UK and London, you're right, and they are actually incorporated in the Cayman Islands. So that take what you
Of
will
course
with
they
that,
are.
but and they IPO'd and they're trying to make money and get tax loopholes. So I think they're more about the money and then I don't know. They do have, they are doing some good shit, I guess, but I really don't like their aircraft. I don't know. They're also a much higher market cap, so we have way more potential with Hover.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
their float's like 100 million around there, and their market cap's like multiple hundreds of million. And the stock, the bottom was like 290 or something like months ago, and it just chills in that $3, $4, or $5 range or whatever. And then Tebow says Bristol, England. So I guess London, England, Bristol, England. Not sure if it's quick hop or not, but probably the same area.
Are they trying to say they're going to do space stuff too?
Possibly. Somebody put
Like,
that on the comments.
That
Or
just
no, you're
grows their TAM, I guess. They're just like, all right, we're getting in space, lower space. Soon we're gonna build cars also for the ground.
nice.
I don't know. No, not really. Actually, their name is Vertical Aerospace, so I guess they can do that.
oh, they have UK welcomes UK funding boost for, yeah, they're well, how much funding is UK going to have? I mean, I think Canada's in a better spot because they're gonna have. Well, we'll see. We need to have maybe.
Honestly, if they're not in the Americas, I'm not paying attention. All the innovation happens here.
Whoa,
The best.
whoa, hold your horses there, cowboy. Check this out. Remember about 2 weeks ago, I said to you, there's adoption and there's making them. And obviously we're gonna make them. We're gonna do a fantastic job. Canada, North America, Cavrite X7. Can't speak for the other ones, but that one's gonna be amazing. But that's making them. Remember what DeathSmiles was saying about the what's the one thing, the being able to go on the water, and how there's all that red tape in California and the United States. The United States has so much red tape, bro, that and infrastructure's like mind-boggling, like a labyrinth of nothing. It's like they put billions of dollars in to make that high-speed train from San Francisco to California, lost all the money and laid zero rail. It's like we're gonna make them, but like for real, think about it. We could literally not sell any to the United States. We could just pump them out to other countries for the longest of time, and we would be doing fantastic, because these other countries, they're ready to go. Like, they just say, show us where to sign on the dotted line. We're ready to rock and roll with these things. So it's like, if somebody says, is it too early to get, too late to get into Hover? It's like, the things, like, the sky's the limit with the countries that they're going to get into and everything. So I think, I don't know, there was something about that. I'm not sure if I articulated that idea exactly, but I think I think it's a high bar to look at how it's like. But then you got the Archer and the Jobies, and then you got the Hover. But like, Hover would be integratable into the culture way easier than the other ones due to the lack of infrastructure. But the other countries, they're ready to go. You just got, you know what I mean? It's like, you just got to mark your calendar for a couple of years out.
Let me continue with the comments. And before I do, I want to say real quick, I don't know if it's on my screen here, but we have 27 people watching. That's pretty cool. This is kind of a all-time almost. And 0 likes. I don't know if I'm seeing this correctly. Is that correctly? 0 likes, guys? Can you guys
Probably a lag
math
again,
the like?
remember?
Maybe. But let's speed run through a little, because there is one really funny comment here I want to get to. Okay. Rip O, whatever his name is. I'm sorry. Since Archer is being used in the Olympics, could Hover be used for the Commonwealth Games? Maybe would be good exposure. I don't know what the Commonwealth Games is, but that would be cool. But I have no idea.
Well, the
I think the
Olympics.
Olympics will give them exposure just in general.
Proof
I mean, you
of
Exposure to the
start
whole
talking
space.
about one,
Yeah.
everybody's going to start talking about all of them.
The
True.
Olympics is a long way away. That's 2028. I don't know how they're gonna have the Olympics down there. Oh my God.
I
don't know.
realized the articulation I didn't hit at the end. I realized what it was. Just like DeathSmiles was saying with the water landing, the red tape, all the stuff that they need. I remember that's what it was. The United States might have all this red tape that they have to jump through hoops and stuff to be able to get them into the United States. But the other countries, they're not going to have that red tape. These other countries, advancements in transportation is crazy. Like, if you watch any like videos of other countries, their transportation is amazing. So like, yeah, you're right. I think there will be a lot of red tape in the United States, but we're a Canadian company. Europe, all these other countries, they love it. So that was the point I was trying to make. I like went out into the ether and I didn't come back fully grounded. But that was the main point I was trying to say.
No, yeah, that
Great.
makes a lot of sense. Like with the Discovery Air Chile and all that, and all the information they got, because they kind of disclosed that was kind of more of a partnership deal. We're kind of exchanging notes. So, yeah, man, that makes a lot of sense. Get to those countries first, and then expand.
Our
Yeah.
red tape is gone though, because the Sean Duffy, the transportation guy, he said that Archer and Joby were going to be able to fly pre-certified. So I think that the red tape has been cut.
That
and
would be fantastic.
and Sean Duffy was in a midnight eVTOL. He did a whole thing, and they made that executive order saying that we had to fast track our aerospace, our air travel industry. So I think that is I think the red tape might, but some of the red tape might have been important. So sometimes I get nervous if things are, sometimes it kind of sounds bad if they're going to let things fly pre-certified. But if they're already flying in Abu Dhabi, then I think that's good enough. Because I mean, that they have the super standards over there. So they don't want
Doesn't
any,
Archer have a plane that'll go on the water too, though?
I don't know yet. I don't know. I
I
didn't.
thought I saw
No.
something about one of their planes was sitting on the water. There's maybe it was a different company, but I know there's one that looks just like theirs that the wings have little tips that bend down at the ends to kind of
Oh,
keep it all level so it's not like the wings aren't dipping into the ocean or whatever.
you're thinking of Regent, probably. No,
Is that
Archer
what I'm
had
thinking of?
2
Yeah, it's one
aircraft.
that looked just like Archer's, but I saw it on the water and I was like, wow, that's kind of cool, but
Hmm. Not too sure.
Actually, Archer has an Anduril partnership. So maybe Archer's working on that with Anduril. Because didn't
maybe.
Anduril say they were going to do something like that? Maybe. I don't
I'm
know.
not
Possibly.
sure, but actually, that's probably the most bullish partnership for them in my eyes. Anduril comes up with the craziest technologies in the world, like
Yeah.
actually.
And real quick about what Nicole said, like I'm kind of looking at it from a devil's advocate standpoint because you're right. Like Department of Transportation, like even that thing that Trump came out with 2 years ago about the 10 freedom cities connecting rural America and the government using 1% of the land to make 10 new freedom cities. And then he said also we're going to be leading the EVTOL revolution to connect those rural cities because we want to be first, not China. So he's definitely thinking with the EVTOLs, and so is Duffy. And I really like that. I'm just looking at it from a devil's advocate standpoint because they even said the train from here to Los Angeles was going to be awesome, and that didn't happen. And I'm just going empirically based off of the execution of the United States government to get things done. It leaves a lot wanting. Uh, so I look at it like worst case scenario, there is going to be a lot of red tape. And thank God these other countries are so technologically advanced and adopting and welcoming to transportation technology. So I'm kind of like, it's good either way. It's good either way for Hover. Like if the United States has a ton of red tape, it's awesome for Hover. If the United States just says, let's cut that tape, let's go, it's awesome for Hover. So it's nice that both roads lead to mooning with Brandon.
I would say, and if anything happened with Archer or Joby, that I don't know if that would be bad for Hover or good for Hover.
I think it'd be
Like if
good.
they had any type of crash. I worry about that all the time. An Archer crash. It's more so than I think a
Yeah.
normal person should worry about that. But
I
they
agree.
so they would crash them. But then I mean, look how much helicopters crash all the time.
Yeah.
But so if they don't crash at all in the next year, that's going to be like the best thing ever. Because then everyone's going to see that these eVTOLs are safer than the helicopters. But hopefully they won't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I think I should move on to Tebow's question because this kind of relates. He says, burning question to all of you. Besides Hover, what's your second best eVTOL pick and why? So Nicole, other than Hover, Archer, Joby, what's your second best? Maybe something else?
I would have, well, I've been an Archer a long time. I got into Hover and Archer at the same time, and then I sold Joby at 10, or I got into Archer and Joby at the same time, and then I sold Joby when I was at like 10. I should have just held it because they're trending industries, so I would say Joby and Archer or SRFM because SRFM is, I think they're going to play a gigantic role in my opinion. And I think Alex Karp's opinion, because why would Palantir invest so much money into SRFM? And Palantir has the partnership with Archer, and they're doing FAA, like AI FAA things. I think SRFM also plays a big role. And then you had Blade, and then Blade got bought out by Joby. But SRFM is actually isn't it one of the biggest airports in, or what would you say?
They have an airport?
They are a bunch of little airports.
No, I didn't know.
Surf Air Mobility has a craft, and then they have hubs. So like they're one of the biggest airport hubs but they're flying private ones, like the private smaller ones.
Right, like little propeller planes and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like about them. They're already making revenue, and then they're also kind of like acting like a pre-revenue company in the eVTOL space, like where they're gonna be able to get this huge TAM of, in my eyes, like they're gonna be the Uber of eVTOLs. Like people are gonna be using their platform to, get a Cav X7 or something, right?
Well, Uber's going to be the its own Uber of eVTOLs because Uber partnered with Joby. So, but see, they don't have the infrastructure. So how are they? You can't have an eVTOL come to your house like an Uber. So that's definitely going to have. But then they have Blade. So the Blade's going to be helping with that. That's a good thing. All three. Joby,
I drove a San Francisco taxi cab for 12 years, so I have a lot of experience with people staring at their phones. And since it's busy, it costs $200 to go to the airport, which when it's not busy, it costs $30. So I have mental pictures of this Uber situation with people staring at their phone. Oh, wow, I want to go to Napa Valley from San Francisco, 1 hour away. How much is that going to be? Oh, $3,000 a person, huh? Not everybody bought Bitcoin at 10 cents. You know what I'm saying? How much is the Uber ride in the Archer going to be? It's going to be $50. Like, what is this going to be government subsidized like the farms? Is it going to be the California will give Archer and Joby $1 billion to subsidize these rides because we really want people to ride these roller coasters in our state for tourism purposes and streamlining the movement of the people.
I
That's like
think the space is going to move extremely fast, and Uber will not be able to catch up. They're too big and bloated, and they are a different industry. I know they're kind of it's parallel, but Surf Air Mobility's partnership with Palantir is going to help them be much more organized and efficient. And who's the people buying this? Not you and me. It's going to be the richest people first. That's who's going to be flying in these things first.
Taylor Swift
They're
in a
not
Cav
really.
X7, baby.
They're not even going to be downloading the app and doing that. They have their assistant or whoever booking it, and at the best rate, the best platform, it's going to be Surf Air Mobility. People aren't using Uber to book their private jets. They use NetJets, right? But most of us will never use that platform.
use Surf Air Mobility. Yeah. And
what's
with
that?
the super rich people too, their time is valuable. So if they could save 3 hours or, their people would pay for that. Even regular people pay for that, I think, to save extra money, to save your time, to get somewhere faster.
I don't know. I think I would look at cargo first over people. I think
Yeah.
a company like Electra or whatever, for cargo delivery and all that kind of stuff would be a good, VTOL company or whatever. It's not really VTOL, it's a short takeoff landing, but I think that's a good play, And of course, if you had to pick between Joby or Archer, which I'm not in either one of them, but if I had to pick between the two, I would say Joby. I think for the air taxi end of it, that's probably a more solid bet. I'm not really too much of a fan of Archer really at all, but that's my opinion.
Quick round robin, Archer or Joby? I'm also Joby. DeathSmiles Joby. Anthony?
In your interview with Brandon, when you asked him if he could work for another company, he said Joby. So I'm mooning with Brandon what he said.
Nicole, Archer or Joby?
I have to say Archer. I think Adam Goldstein, he's a Weasley motherfucker. I think he's always at the White House. He's always doing. He's a wheeler and dealer. He was on that one dude, Jimmy Fallon. He got a lot of shit for that though. But I think I might say Archer over Joey.
And that's what I don't like about Archer is I don't like that guy's wheeler and dealer bullshit personality.
Yeah, I guess it can go two ways, but sometimes those guys can make a good amount of money. So
yeah, but I mean, I just look at that as shady. That's all. And then I look at Brandon as like I'm an open book. Like we're not trying to, bullshit anybody about anything. This is where we are, and this is what we're doing.
Very true. Both good points. To pro Nicole's point, this isn't his first company. He's actually exited and made a lot of money in this last company. So he does seem to know what he's doing in the financial aspect, but I don't know. honestly, aerospace is a whole nother game. And like Brandon says always, like, I think it's more about like the engineering than the funds and partnerships and all, and also like the well, his grit and stuff. Like he's building this aircraft. The Midnight, I don't know, they're pivoting now to defense. They keep pivoting and barely flying this thing. And I don't know, who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. But I think we should move on with the comments here. They're really ramping up. Let me quickly get to them. X Gamer says, what is a good support level to buy and get in? Honestly, do your own due diligence. We can't tell you what to buy in, so we'll move on. Jacob Perez says, by the way, Jacob Perez has a profile photo of him shirtless. I don't know if it's him or just someone else, but him shirtless, all muscular, going like this. And his comment says, Nicole, will you marry me? Jacob, if you have any burning questions for Nicole, you can join the Discord and say hello. But I think the answer would be no. So let's move on. Shala, UK, yeah. Tebow says vertical aerospace is in Bristol, England. Sorry, not London. My bad. Bristol, in UK. Joel says. Tebow says Bristol is the birthplace of aviation. You have huge companies there like Rolls-Royce, etc. Wow, I did not know that. Okay, that's interesting. Did you guys know that?
Yeah, I own Rolls-Royce, remember?
Rolls-Royce. Isn't that doing nuclear? Aren't they doing nuclear stuff?
Oh yeah, man. The reactors and everything. I mean, they've been doing nuclear for a long time because they do all the submarines and the fighters and everything.
Yeah, Rolls-Royce. I see that all the time. I look up Rich Tech Robotics because it puts the articles under there for Rolls-Royce, and then I realized that's when I found out they were doing the nuclear. I ended up seeing their stuff. That'll be a nice transition if they can get a small nuclear reactor.
They already have one. It's like 3 shipping containers that bolt together. It's a micro reactor that's portable for like army bases or whatever you might need it for, disaster relief.
On the devil's advocate side,
That's
we
good
have
then.
here Ionis Stefanou says regulation in the EU is way stricter than in the US. I don't know what that last AFIC. What does that mean? Yeah, it is way stricter than in the US. But if Bristol is the birthplace of aviation, I mean, maybe it was good back then, right? But maybe there's now a lot more regulation. So maybe it was the birthplace, but it is no longer the hub today. So let's move on. Kelly Metz says early rocket lab, early LAC. I'm not sure what company that is.
It's a lithium mine,
Okay.
a Canadian one, but they own the lithium mine in America. At your pass.
I'm guessing
Yeah, that's a good one for
because
sure.
of you. So that's cool. And now early Hovr, probably because of you also. Let's go. My number 2 position. Shala says, no, not correct. Sorry, I'm not sure about what. We've been talking a lot. Tebow says vertical aerospace is in Europe, and if they go into military applications, then European countries will buy European eVTOLs. So huge TAM for vertical aerospace. Why? Could they not buy Canadian eVTOLs?
I think they could. They bought Canadian drones. They did the Zeta. Zeta shot like crazy when Trump told all of Europe they had to buy our military stuff, and then they went and bought the Canadian. What is Zeta? Or is that it? That was a big one. So they definitely buy Canadian defense stuff.
Can I say something about that one comment that we don't give financial advice, but I could just say something that's just kind of logical? And I talked to somebody yesterday from the guy from the IP for Horizon. He asked me some questions about how I found out about it, what I liked about it, and I told him if he asked me if I had any insight into anything, and I was like, really, a lot of retail investors are wondering, are they too late, or like is this a good price? Well, let me rephrase that. They're obviously not too late, but can they get a good price? And I was thinking after talking to Nicole this morning, I was thinking about the echelons of traders, and you have penny stock traders, which there's very successful people that do penny stocks because they're smart and they can pick good ones. But then your penny stock traders are also like your bargain bin shoppers that go to dollar value and they want to get a good deal. And then you got the people that shop at Whole Foods, whole paycheck, and they're just dropping, $35 T-bones on their cart. And they'll buy as many as they want because that's how they're living. And so I think when people say the question of is Hover okay to get here, I think what they're really saying is this a spot where I can get a lot of shares, right? Because it's like, it's not a question of whether is Hover going to do good. It's a question of, are these bargain bin shoppers able to get as much as they possibly want at a cheap price? Because if it's $2.50 and you only got 30 grand, you're getting, 10,000 shares, a little more than that. But, and like I told Matan the other day, I'm sorry that Hover was 50 cents. I'm sorry. I didn't do it. I'm sorry. It's like the airplane ticket I was telling you about. I had the direct flight. It was $250. I did my plans. I looked back, and the airplane ticket went up $100 in like 2 hours time. What did I do? I bought it because I needed to get there. So it's not really a question of is this going to be okay? Is it going to go up? Of course it's going to go up. It's going to keep going up. And then when you think it's time to sell, that's the time to hold, because when you're up a lot, that's when the big guys get in, and that's how we make it to the hundreds of billions of market cap. So it's not, is this a good time to get into Hover? It's, is this a good time to get into Hover where I can get as many shares as I can at the bargain bin price? And I'm sorry, maybe bargain bin price, maybe this is the low. You feel me? So it's like, just get in with what you can. Everybody's financial situation is different. Some people got a lot, some people got a little. But the hedge funds, they don't worry about rent money. They get in and hold. So that's my non-financial advice, which is just, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're at a low for sure. I think 250s, we're just setting our new bottom, laying the new foundation. And this quarterly candle is going to hit 12. I know it. I mean, our last quarterly candle from I don't know, a year and a half ago or whatever it was, where we went from 12.14 all the way down to $1 low. That thing closed at $2.40 on that quarterly candle. This quarterly candle, we started off at 240 and have been going up. So I'm looking at, we're going to do the exact opposite of that drop candle. And by Christmas, end of this year, I wouldn't be surprised if we hit 12 to 20. Obviously, we'll probably pull back after that, but I wouldn't be surprised if we hit it.
Not financial advice, but $12 by Christmas. You guys heard it.
Yeah, that's guaranteed in my opinion, but that's my opinion.
Some not financial advice here. Egoless Chicken says, guys, just listen to Nicole and you will be set for life.
That's a lot of pressure. I feel like
Heavy weighs the crown.
Joel Phillips says, oh, also I skipped Folio Beam said there's 10 likes. Thank you. There's probably a little more by now. Nice. Thank you guys for smashing the like button. We have here 25-ish people watching right now live. Pretty cool. Okay, Joel says, what about the Cabaret X7 do you think makes it the best aircraft design? I've spoken about that a lot on my channel, and you guys probably know Anthony and DeathSmiles' opinion, so maybe I want to run through the comments. So Nicole, do you want to just speak? Why do you think it's the best aircraft?
it goes farther. 500, or there's going to be 500 kilometer or 310 miles. It's the hybrid. I think the hybrid is very important because of the cold weather. And and it carries more people and the experience the Robinsons have. Look at Peter Beck and Rocket Lab. I mean, that's but I want to say not investment advice. That's the best. He's obsessed with rockets. He eats, sleeps, breathes rockets. The man is his goal is to be, the greatest space company we have. And then I think he's doing that. So that's the other one. The passion and the Robinsons themselves. I think that's very important. I think that I don't even know who the Joby CEO is. Now I kind of feel bad, but that could tell you they're not. I think it's important to know the CEO. Somebody probably knows them. I should look it up, but never mind.
Yeah, I mean, I think the range on the X7 is actually 500 miles, 800 kilometers.
Interestingly enough, the Joby CEO, his name is Jobin,
That's
which
that's
is
a
like
game.
the
That's
name
important.
Joby.
That puts.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. What is his background? Do we know?
Yeah, he's actually really awesome. And Brandon Robinson said in my interview, hypothetically, if Hover wasn't around, that he would probably rather be with like Jobin working with Joby.
He
Uh,
said Electra first, I think, but
oh, he did say Electra. That's right. That's right.
that's why I pick Electra first.
Ah, smart.
Yeah. Um, but tying into this next comment, Dylan Rogers says, "Thank you, Nicole, for bringing your perspective to the stream. And I want to say thank you also on my behalf for coming on here. This is quite different and fun, and looks like the people really like it. The people are really engaging. This is probably the most engaged live stream we've had, right, Anthony?"
Well, it's not at 2 o'clock in the morning. That's probably a good start.
You're right. No, but people are here for Nicole. A lot of the comments are all about you. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Good.
Rip OG Whale says Commonwealth Games is a sport events with all the British Commonwealth countries, which includes Canada. So that's why I'm thinking once the X7 is up and could be used, that would be cool. Yeah, that would be cool. What are all the British countries actually? There's only like 5 of them, no? We got the UK, Canada, the US, Australia, Ireland. Is Ireland one? I think. I'm not sure. I think that's it. We don't have many countries. I'm not sure.
I thought Canada was independent now.
Well, they're all kind of independent, but they're all like
Yeah, but I mean, like it was under British
English
rule up
countries.
until like 10 or 20 years ago. I mean, I don't know exactly when, but I remember when I went there, it was still under British rule. I went there as a kid in the 90s.
That would be embarrassing to still.
You know, I never heard of the Commonwealth Games, and I don't know if most of people in the world watch that. So even if the X7 would be there, I don't know how much good exposure that would be personally. I think the Olympics is way better. You know, it would be cool if they start using them in the World Cup. That's this summer. That'd be crazy, but that's way too soon. Or at least just show the prototype like in the arenas or something, you know? Imagine a halftime show where like Bad Bunny lands from a Caveret X7 instead of this in the Super Bowl or something.
Well, Horizon did have that commercial that they played in Japan at that baseball game, right? So they're obviously doing that. The Horizon had the you could get from this part of Japan to that part of Japan way faster in the Cav X7 commercial at that baseball game. And then I did a little research. The place where the baseball stadium was, it is in an industrial complex that does have something to do with Mitsubishi. I did attempt to do a deep dive to some degree, so DeathSmiles would be very proud of me.
Good job, man.
Thank you.
Japan definitely is into eVTOLs, that's for sure. Because they have the Oka, what is their one? They just did something with Archer. So the fact that they're showing the commercial for Hovr, maybe they're gonna do something with them.
Yeah.
Well, they already look like they are, because they're an island country. Well, not exactly. Well, yeah. So
More or less, yeah. Yeah.
that would help.
And they got mountains.
And it's cold. So Hover's hybrid would do well there. And they've been having a lot of natural disasters. Well, everybody has, so that is another thing that could do well.
I love just hearing green flag after green flag after green flag.
Yeah, there's a
Going
lot
to the
of
moon,
money in
guys.
Japan.
Yeah.
And they have Toyota, and Toyota is sponsored with is producing for. So if Toyota sees they're doing well with Joby, could they also say they'll be Hover's production partner, or would that be too much?
Mitsubishi.
Is
Yeah.
that one? Is Mitsubishi its
Yeah.
own, or is it under Stellantis?
No, it's its own Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, and it's all Japanese. So if we're getting a Japanese partnership, that's where I would lean.
I would lean there too. That would be excellent. That would be the catalyst.
Yeah.
They
I
could
put-
get up to 12.
I
they
did
definitely
put
don't.
a. I'm sorry. Continue.
No, I said if they said they were partnering with Mitsubishi, then they would definitely shoot to 12 by the end of the year. But then they would obviously go back down, because Archer and Joby, their 5-year charts are volatile as fuck. So that would, you know how that is.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
like I
did.
said, we were 24 cents 1 year ago, and we're 240 bottom now. We ended up hitting $1.78 pre-market or after hours around Christmas. So why not hit 1780 this year?
I could see that.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd pull back probably the beginning of the year to like $3 or $4 and test everything before we run back up again. But it'd be a good opportunity to trim and buy back later, possibly, if it happens.
If anybody's watching this, they've probably watched already all the flight paths that Horizon has put out on their website and the meet the teams. And as a publicly traded company, there's only so much they can say. But I basically look at the flight paths as look at the good progress we're making, and I look at the meet the teams as look at the competence these people have. Because if you watch it, these people are very competent. So we have a fantastic plan, and we're going to execute. Those are the two communications that I get from the two things that Horizon's putting out, right? Flight paths, look at our tech, meet the team. These guys are competent. But there was one flight path or something. I put a comment about Japan and Ireland. I was like, hey, I put the Japanese military should build you a manufacturing facility, Brandon Robinson, and pump these out. And don't forget about Ireland. And then Brandon Robinson commented, he said, fantastic comment. And then he said, oddly enough, we are specifically speaking to Japan and Ireland. And he posted that to my comment about a little under a year ago. So Japan.
Yeah, I mean, Phil's Irish.
Wow.
Who's Irish?
Phil.
Yeah.
And Ireland hates America, so that could work out well too.
Phil Kelly has the Ireland Air Ambulance Connect in his iPhone, guaranteed.
What does that mean?
Horizon dropped some news about 10 months ago saying that the Cav X7 would be beautiful for Ireland Air Ambulance support because the range of the Cav X7 is basically the radius that you would need for the entirety of Ireland to execute properly. And Horizon dropped that news like 10 months ago as like research. It's like, hey, we did some research. And they put the beautiful white Cav X7 with the red medical sign on it, said Cav X7, fantastic for Ireland Air Ambulance support. So that's what I was referring to when I said, don't forget about Ireland, Japan. And then he said, specifically, we are speaking to Japan and Ireland. So they've been talking to him. And Phil Kelly, he's got the Ireland Air Ambulance czar probably on speed dial in his iPhone.
And I was reading this thing that all the helicopter sales worldwide are slowing down immensely. So that could also tell people if the big companies or governments aren't filling their helicopter orders, then maybe they're waiting on something new and better.
That makes a lot of sense. Like if there's a new PlayStation coming out in like 5 months, the sales of the games and the systems for the other models start going down. Nicole, you're a genius. You're a genius, Nicole. Oh my God. Somebody raise that green flag. We're moving with Brandon.
Brandon's been talking with Robinson Helicopter back and forth or whatever on LinkedIn. So makes sense.
Fighter jets and helicopter sales are going down. But I also attribute that to drones. But eVTOLs as well, I think is another big factor.
That's I never thought of that. Anthony, I think by the end of this, you need to come up with your Mooning with Brandon song and sing that for everyone.
I already got it. Here we go. Oh, Brandon. Oh, Brandon. I knew a CEO and Brandon was his name. And when my portfolio boomed, my life never was the same. 'Cause it's Brandon. Don't you see?
Don't forget Brian, his dad.
Yeah, go Brett. I was in the church choir. I did do a solo. Just saying. I was in the church choir.
I think
your parents must have been so proud.
I gotta clip that. I think this is the very first Brandon Robinson song out there. I think I have to use that in the intro of every next podcast. Something that I have.
I don't want to hear it again.
was great.
Hey,
That was so funny.
anything I say today is null and void because I'm on that garlic, baby. I took 2 cloves of the garlic today. So, hey, anything I say, it's null and void. I sign a contract, it's null and void because I'm on that garlic, baby.
This is all public and live, bro. Nothing is null and void, but um love it. Okay, let's get to the comments back here. Deke Johnson says, Nicole, how many shares of Hover would be a solid position in your thoughts? You guys are awesome. Do you want to answer that?
Well, it's hard to say how many shares of Hover because like I do my account. It's grown a lot with the help of Archer, Rocket Lab, and Palantir. And then I was able to do the margin thing. So right now I want to have 2,000 shares of Hover. And then I like to, if Hover in the $2 range, I plan to get more. I'm looking for my entry, maybe the lower $2 range. But for like my family member, I got him 100 shares of Hover, and now he's up 100% on it. So I'm pretty happy about that. But it really just depends, like how much money you have. You can't,
Right.
because I have people that message me and they'll show me they got Hover and they got like 20,000 shares, and I'm like, you fuck, but so every money is different, you know? But I feel comfortable. I shouldn't because I really fucked myself in the margins during DeepSeek. That was a bad time. I thought I had to make a lot of phone calls to my family members. But and then I said, I can get this up. I know I'm going to get this up, and then it did. So then now they're very more trusting of me, my family members. But yeah, it depends how much money you have. That's the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, I had a few friends that I had get in around July and August. They threw like 10 grand at it, and they're happy. They're happy where they're at right now.
Yeah, but and I always warn people that, we're in a, I said, I don't know if it's a bull market or if it's rare earth drones and eVTOLs, but anything, and deep sea was a bad time. So anything could crash us, but the crashes are short, and pre-revenue companies struggle like the most during these giant sell-offs. So that's the other thing. There's always time. I always tell people there's literally always time. When you think that you're not going to have time to get into something, unless it's Palantir. But even now with Palantir, they had the thing where they said their shit was garbage, and now they barely went down though. I mean, not go to the range, but and things always happen. So just always remember there's always time to get into things.
Yeah, I mean, I would look at Hover as
I
a
would say.
long term. Don't look at it like I'm going to get in it today and I'm going to flip it for triple next week or whatever. This is a long term plan. We're looking at 2030 or longer.
20 or 30 years? Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, 20 the year. Yeah, yeah. I thought you meant 20 or 30 years. I said,
No, 2030. Like, that's our current timeline. By 2028, we'll start to see some of these rolling out, hopefully off of the production line, and we'll get, half a dozen of them or whatever. And then hopefully we go straight into production 2029, 2030, whatever it is. And we're rolling out 100 or 200 a year.
2040 is what's more interesting. I know it's far and you're worried.
You like to look way too far ahead. You even said 2050 last time, and I was like, dude, by then I might be dead. Like, I'm a lot older than you guys.
But by 2040, this thing will these will be flying around. In a good world, as Brandon said by then on my interview, they're gonna be selling and flying these all over the world, hundreds to thousands of these. The market cap of something like that will be $100 billion, and you will have we'll have, I don't know, we'll all be millionaires, that's for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, it's always buy and research.
Yeah, that's important.
And plus, it depends. There's different timelines. There's 3 to 6 months of explosiveness, but after the 6 months is over, we're already going directly into full scale demonstrator, going to be up and running in the next handful of months mode. So the trajectory is only going to go up. And then, even if we're just looking at a 2030 timeline, that's 4 years, what's that, 1,200 days? You know, what is that? 1,000 market days? No big deal. You know what I'm saying? But it really just depends on your timeline. It's $2 now. Once they get to full scale demonstrator up and going, it could 10x there. You know what I mean? Or beyond. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends. But DeathSmiles going for like generational wealth. My man's holding until they're pumping out patents, and this thing's like $500 a share. And they're gonna have a big mural of him up on the wall at the family mansion, and it's gonna be like, this dude did it. Like everybody bowed down to the mural of DeathSmiles, you know, and they're going to be out on their boats catching lobster, smoking fat cigars, thinking, thank you for DeathSmiles, our great grandfather.
Well, I got all my kids got custodial accounts, and I bought them all Hovr, so
That's awesome.
they can thank me, you know, when they're in college or when they've moved out and they've got a nice chunk of money to play with.
Quick perspective. I know 15 years is a lot, but if you look back 15 years, we're in 2020.
Yeah, I mean, like my kids, I got a
2026
range
already.
of 21 years old to a 1-year-old. So, you know, the 1-year-old, by the time he's 21, that's 2045 or whatever. So, you know, by then he could have a few $1 million worth of Hovr. Who knows?
Yeah, and that'd be a perfect age. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But if you look back 15 years, you'd go to 2010. If you invest in anything in 2010 by now, everything is almost up. Like, especially all the companies that you knew were good then, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Google, whatever. Those were obviously good back then, and they were still really high, but they've still all 10, 20x since 2010. And I mean, the next 15 years is just going to be repeating itself, you know?
I think a very healthy mentality for a trader is to look at the present time, the what's going on now, but also the big picture. Look at the long charts, look at what can happen. The red days give you some adrenaline that you don't like, but you gotta look at that big picture. You gotta stay mentally balanced, you know?
Oh,
Let
yeah.
me ask
Always
you
look
guys
at the
an
monthlies
interesting-
and look at the quarterlies. That's what I do.
Let me ask you guys an interesting question. The biggest company in the world right now, I mean, it's always changing, but it's Nvidia, as we know, right? At about a $4 trillion market cap, right? 25 years ago, the biggest company in 2000, what was it, you think?
Microsoft.
Correct. Good. Microsoft. It was at 580 billion. Today, Microsoft is at almost 4 trillion. 1980, 20 more years back, what was the biggest company in the world?
Pepsi or Coca-Cola?
No, actually, they're not even on there. Not even on top 10. IBM. IBM at $35 billion only. $35 billion was the largest company in the world in 1980. Fast track 20 years later, biggest company in the world is $500 billion, Microsoft. 25 years later, we go from $500 billion to the biggest company being 4 trillion, 4.5 trillion, Nvidia. And in the next 20 years, the biggest company is going to be 10, 20 trillion dollars, right? And then all the smaller companies that are 100 billion, 1 trillion is going to look normal, you know?
Yeah, that's crazy to think about. That's why these companies are like really like governments now. Google runs countries' whole government, runs governments like that, and then they need Nvidia. So Nvidia will have a good run. Jensen, I like Jensen. I trust Jensen, honestly. I don't really trust Bill Gates, but he can't fail it now. But I don't know.
I trust Elon.
Quick question, slight divergence, but speaking of Nvidia and how when Jensen spoke, all the quantum stocks went down. Just a quick question. I'm curious your guys' thoughts. Because my whole thing of looking at sectors and stuff, I saw Rigetti, I saw QBTS, I saw QUBT, I saw them all when they were like 88 cents. And then I started getting mental pictures of the Wolf of Wall Street when Jordan Belfort was selling that penny stock in the mall. And he was telling the guy about government coming for the Aerodyne. They'll be approved soon. And then they flashed, and he like sold the guy the 6,000 shares of Aerodyne. And then it flashed. Aerodyne's really like two guys building radars in their mom's garage. And then I was looking at quantum stocks, and I was like, is this two guys building radars in their mom's garage? Do I want to put $50,000 into this 88-cent stock and just like get rich, or is this like a bad idea? And I did not do it. I did not get 50,000 shares of Rigetti, QUBT, or any of that stuff. But I'm curious, since you guys are all very smart, do you think these quantum stocks are like legit? Do you think this is smoke and mirrors, or do you think the quantum stuff is legit? Speaking of gents and all that stuff. Thank you.
I think it's legit, man. I've gotten into it, but it's got a little ways to go. But yeah, it's legitimate technology for sure.
I got into RGTI and QBTS and QUBT because Matthew Valistra was posting about them in like October. And I said, all right, I'll give these a shot. And I got a bunch of calls, and it was the greatest thing I could have done. And then I exercised the calls. So I hold RGTI. But Martin Shrekley just today, he was posting the pictures of RGTI and QUBTs, where their offices are. And I sold out of QBT, and then but I sold out of them at like 10, and then they shot up to 17. So I don't think it matters if quantum, I mean, eventually it will, if they can't deliver what they're saying they're going to deliver. But RGTI got the Army thing. The government seems to think they'll do it. So I don't know. I don't trust them, but I hold them.
Personally, I think it's too early, and I also don't understand too much of it, a little bit like crypto. So I have a little crypto, but I really don't get it. I really think it's one big pyramid scheme of some sort. So
I heard a really good explanation of quantum computing that I don't know if you guys have heard. So basically, computers right now, ones and zeros, it's like two roads just going, like if you envision two roads, but quantum is like a freeway where there's overpasses and stuff like that, and the data can go in that more three-dimensional kind of way. That was the nice, how do you explain quantum computing to a kid? I heard somebody say that, and I was like, wow, I understand it.
I mean, the
but
safe.
then even if you understand that, what is the use case, right? Because me and you are not going to be using that power. We don't need quantum power. I don't know. It's governments, but I don't know how much money. What is that going to make? What is the use cases really?
It's going to be like more energy efficient. So imagine like higher speeds and more efficiency.
Yeah.
That's true. Quick sidetrack, but this is going to be interesting. I was reading a book that said something like in the 70s, they were worried that oil and gas was going to run out because there was a clear trajectory that we use this much energy and this much gas in the world exists that we're only pumping up. So supply and demand clearly showed that the curve was going down. We're going to go to zero, have no gas, and the world is going to be doomed. Just like all the climate change people who are worried. It's all bullshit. Point is, the world innovates. And what happened, even though, yes, we do have limited resources, the world became more efficient. It took like 2 times as much fuel to go 1 mile versus today's your mile per gallon is way more fuel efficient, right, in your gasoline. So we're using like way less fuel. Energy cost also, right? We're using LED bulbs, everything. Now you're talking about quantum computing. The Moore's law, we're keep innovating chips. Things are being more efficient. So we're using things are like energy consumption is being more efficient. So even though, yes, there is like a limited resources, our efficiency is what actually is giving that longevity to our resources. And that kind of goes, if you think of it in any other space, like, as we're innovating in eVTOLs, things are being more and more efficient. There's going to be more demand as we go. Demand will increase for different use cases. Right now, it might just be, let's say, air taxis moving people, but later we could do, right? DeathSmiles like to talk about through Hawaii, all sorts of things, or saving people in the ocean, right? The demand just goes up as things get more efficient. And the supply meets demand. Like there isn't always an equilibrium. The economy and the markets are like sort of perfect, like things work,
If they run out of oil, they're going to use uranium. I think uranium will be the next oil. And then that would help too, because uranium mines are out in far off places. So
Yeah, but the point is they're not running out of oil and they're not going to run out of everything. And climate change is nothing to worry about. People have been, I live in Florida. They've been talking, I remember since I was a baby, that Florida's going to flood and there's going to be water all over. You can't live here. Well, there's innovations. There's all the water that comes through, goes through canals, through the Everglade. Like Florida's basically kind of underwater, like water that goes through runs to the Gulf of Mexico. Like we've innovated and now Florida is not going to flood. And when it rains a lot here, like the sewer system is so great. Like almost anywhere else in the world, it rains like a crazy amount and it floods. Like here, I mean, we've innovated. It's crazy. So that's just an example of everything in the world. We're always advancing and innovating, and there's always progression. And I know it's a big sidetrack, but point being here is Hover will win. So let's move on to the comments.
They've
Randy,
innovated.
what's that?
They're
Yeah.
innovators.
Yes, absolutely. And Brandon Robinson is like amazing, amazing leader. So innovator and everything. Not going to get into that now. Let's continue on here. We have a lot of comments, and there are some comments about Anthony singing, so we have to get to that. Randy says, is there a place you can watch Selena's air show online? Do you guys know what Selena's air show is? I don't
Yeah, it's the Archer thing with Joby happening, right?
know. You guys can check out online. No idea. Joel Phillips agreed with DeathSmiles. Awesome. We all do. We always do. DeathSmiles is always right.
True.
Joel
true.
Phillips, Archer seems so pumped on talks and promos. Winky face. Oh, I guess he's saying like, yeah, Archer's just pumping.
They're
Randy.
flying though. They're really flying. You have to give them credit for that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. What, they had 7,000-foot flight? That was very impressive. I'll give him that. That was very impressive.
no, they fly every day.
Well, I thought they did a 10,000-foot flight, right?
Yeah, wait, Archer, but
You know
That's
what's
like
interesting?
flight
7,
ceiling, so that,
and then they did a
that's
10.
good.
I like Brandon Robinson's answer and his approach to flight. He says they flew enough. They already got their Pareto principle. They got their 80-20, right? They flew enough to where they know what they need to know. And now they're just, doing things in simulation, advancing in other ways, building the actual full scale prototype. Like, let's stop flying, like start building.
Yeah. Start the cycle over again. Let's go.
Yeah. Randy says Adam will get favorability treatment from the White House. Ooh, maybe, yeah. Yeah.
he already is. He already is. Him and Sean Duffy, they're in a lot of photos together. I think
Yeah. Besties. They're besties.
I don't know if they're best friends, but I think they're good friends. We'll see.
Yes.
We'll see.
Nicole agrees with you, Randy. Rip OG Whale says, if you have a design that makes sense and is good, investors will come, and Hover is the best for sure at the moment. Okay. Tebow says, AFAIK is as far as I know. Cool. Didn't know that. AFAIK. Is that something new, man? There's so many. I don't know. I'm not young anymore. I feel like this new generation has, not that Tebow's young. I don't know, but I never heard of that one. Interesting.
He's
Whatever.
young at heart for sure.
Shala says, what's you guys' opinion on the $12 to $20 shout? What does that mean, shout? Is there an analyst saying $20, I guess? Shout. I don't know what
I'm saying 12 to 20.
Okay. Well, he gave you his opinion on that, so I will move on.
You're an
Jeremy-
analyst now, DeathSmiles. Put it on your business card.
Yeah, well, you can check it out on Reddit. It's all in the investor package. I got all the timelines and prices all in there. So
Jared Anderson says, since I found Nicole a few weeks ago, I haven't seen her miss once. Oh, like I guess all your calls. Awesome. Wow. You've been 100%. I gotta follow what Nicole's doing too then. Damn. Thank you for the hard work, Nicole. Very much appreciated. Kelly Metz says, I bought some at 50 cents and bought last week. If you do your research and see Hovr is going to be successful, buy now and buy if it dips. Shala says, nah, World Cup never does halftime shows, so wouldn't be possible. Maybe an opening ceremony, but even then it's too soon. You're right, they do not do halftime shows, but it was just a fun hypothetical to think about. No one's going to be flying by July, but
well, maybe a video clip or something.
Yeah. Yeah, or just like presented. I don't know. World Cup, probably not going to use these yet, too soon, but that's fine. K Dean says a lot of branches. I guess like a lot of branches that Hover can get in. Definitely. Keegan Everett says Mitsubishi is also working toward the space aspect, so I might work.
Ooh, if they're
Hmm.
saying that, then
Okay.
why? Yeah, that'll be a good one. That'll be the final thing. Then I would say I was officially right. That's their last thing they need is a producer and then
Yeah.
a manufacturer, however you want to say it.
Anything Mitsubishi would be the best partnership? I mean, any partnership would be great, I guess, but
I don't know if it'd be the best one, but you already have Stellantis and Toyota taken. So
what about GM? Nah.
GM does stuff with Archer, I think.
Oh, do they? Oh.
I almost think maybe
I
I
mean,
I
I'd
have
want someone more local. I don't know. Does Mitsubishi, they don't make any in
I'm gonna
America.
tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something. You know, I'm old enough to, I remember when I had a pager and all my friends' phone numbers were written on a piece of paper, and it was my master phone book, and then I had a second piece of paper with my friends' phone numbers on it. So when me and mom and dad and sister went to the pizza parlor, I could call my friends. So I remember these things. But nowadays, you got people getting catfished and ghosted, right? And
well,
people hear, right? People hear Brandon Robinson say when he's on the Gabriella investor thing with all the, that thing he did a couple weeks ago. The guy was like, "How are you guys going to scale up?" Brandon was like, "Simple, people and partnerships.
That's right. Yeah, he did.
Simple,
Yeah.
simple. People and partnerships." It's like the guy is beautiful, publicly traded company, but he's telling you what he's going to do. And people, it's like Earth is the show me state. They don't believe it until you put it in your hand or something. But people are so worried about getting catfished. It's like, oh my God, Hovr wasn't what I thought it was. Oh my God, she's big and smells like garlic. Ah.
well, when I first started posting about Hover, and then somebody said they had 8 employees, and I said, well, yeah, because they're just starting. They're just designing their stuff. They don't need to hire a bunch of morons to do it. They're doing the engineering. They have their team of, smart people that they want there, and they're not doing any. Well, eventually, I don't. Archer said they had 700 employees, which is a lot.
Whoa. That is a lot. I didn't know that. Nicole, did you ever use a pager?
A pager? No, but want to know what you said? I put it on my thing because my dad has a pager and he was going through his old things from like 20 years ago and he sent me the picture of the pager. But I didn't use a pager, but my dad used a pager. And then
That's funny. Okay, let's move on. Kelly Metz says leaning Bombardier. I guess a Bombardier partnership. Yes. I think we've spoken about that many times.
Oh yeah.
2023 gainer. Did you hit the like? Hover up another 5%? Yes, hit the like. Thank you, 2023 gainer. Hover up another 5% a week. I feel like he says that comment every time. So I don't know how accurate that is. I think Hover's up like 20, 30 plus percent, not 5, but maybe I'm wrong. Um, K
oh,
Dean says Mitsubishi, they tried on their own and couldn't. This would be the best path. Interesting. I didn't know that. So they tried to make an eVTOL, I guess, and they couldn't.
It's possible what he meant is on the weekly, Hovr did close like 1-2% up on the weekly for the 5 days of trading. And then in after hours, it might have went up a little bit. So he might just be referring to, hey, end of the week, we're up 5%. Maybe that's what he was referring to.
No, no, no. He's been commenting that on my channel all the time.
Maybe he can see the future.
he's being mean.
Hey, I don't mind. It's bullish every time, and he tells people to like, thumbs up, comment, love it. Thank you, dude. Let's move on. I think this is part of we're caught up to the singing now. K Dean just laughs. Daydream Professional says, "Can we clip that?" You know what? We absolutely should. Yes, we should. And then he laughs. Nicole, Dazen says Nicole with a bunch of heart eyes. Um. K. Dean says, this guy.
Hey, can I ask you
No,
guys
can I
kind
read all these? Anthony, you speed run. I'm so bad at this. We have a lot of
uh
comments to catch up
let's
on.
see.
I don't
What's
know.
the last one you left off on?
After Nicole, Hard Eyes, and then this guy.
Oh, there we go. Okay, good. So get my mouse to work here.
Rip OG Whale says, I've got 13.7K shares sold and got back at 199. It's 95% of my portfolio. 95%. Holy shit. I think that's the highest number I've
Awesome.
heard. Wow. I think that's
Yeah. Okay,
I'm
I'm ready.
going into Archer now and diversifying, but I plan to hold for 5 to 10 years. 95% of his portfolio holding 5 to 10 years. Hell yeah, my guy. That's crazy.
It's
Wait,
only going to
But
keep
that,
growing from there.
I would advise something that Hovr needs. They need their cobalt and neodymium. I would put something on a rare earth or a miner just to diversify a little bit. And then you're not going too away from Hovr because Hovr needs cobalt. Hovr
Yeah, Neo is who they were talking to on LinkedIn, so that might be the play.
NB?
NEO.
Oh, NEO? Neocorp?
I guess so. I sent a text to them. Let me look real quick.
Because Neocorp is the name of the company, and then their ticker is NB. And they're
Neo Performance Materials. The president and CEO is Rahim. Rahim was the guy that was talking to Brandon. He was at the mines deal too a week or two ago with the walls.
Neo Performance Materials.
Yeah, that's who he was. He was telling Brandon on the LinkedIn. I tried to find the comment, but I think he deleted it. Said something about we got, this higher performance magnet or whatever for your motors. And I was like, oh, so maybe, for their testing of their motors and the stuff they're doing in house, perhaps this guy is trying to get in there and supply the magnets.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Let me just read these real quick. You guys do what you're doing. So Rip OG, he's like, my mates are also going into Hovr and adding super bullish on it. Beautiful. 2035 gainer, already 18 institutional investors just to start. Exactly. Enjoy the ride. Joel, loving this live stream. Love you guys. Let's do this again. Anthony, props on your singing career. Thank you very much. It was, what's that saying when something's not planned? It was not a cappella, but what's the word I'm looking for?
impromptu
Thank you. It was very impromptu.
or spontaneous. Yeah.
Yeah, extremely. Keegan Everett, Exxon. Let's go Exxon. JL. I got into Palantir before earnings. Is it still worth it to hold? Is the question. I got into Palantir before earnings. Is it still worth it to hold, or should I move that money into something like Ondis or Hovr?
Just is at a high. Oh God. I would hold the Palantir. Hold the Palantir. Palantir's gonna do everything. Health, spying on everybody, the war machine, war analyzing. What else? The air travel. Palantir's gonna be doing the air travel. I think they're gonna get an air travel contract or a FAA contract.
Yeah, in Terminator 15 with Arnold Schwarzenegger, the cyborg, instead of Skynet, it's going to be Palantir. On to the next question. Let's see here. Okay, so full beam TT, QSI stock, Quantum. Yep, they did good. Buru, he likes Buru. Nicole likes Buru. Huma, also Philly Beam T likes Huma. And then we got Tebow. He says, another burning question. Besides Hovr and the EVTOL industry, what is your next best favorite stock? Maybe each can pick 1 to 2 stocks and tell us. Okay, let's stop there. Let's everybody.
I love that. I actually wanted to literally do a little round robin of everyone talk about like a penny stock or something. But I guess should we do favorite stock, or I want to do like a penny stock that we can all introduce. I know Anthony has like 2 that he's in. I don't know about you, DeathSmiles, if you have any other ones you want to share. I know you're deep in Hovr. Nicole has a whole bingo card of them. Let's start with Nicole. What is your number 1 penny stock pick other than Hovr and nothing in the eVTOL industry?
I would give another industry. Okay, wait, I got 2 industries. Biotech industry, but I would say autonomous trucking. Autonomous trucking is going to be what eVTOLs are, except I think it's going to be even bigger. But Aurora, you have Aurora Trucking AUR, and that's in the $5 range. So they're a little bit above a penny stock. And then you have Kodiak AI that just did that SPAC merger and KDK. So I want to say those 2 I'm building positions in. I think that's big, except Aurora makes the trucks. So Aurora makes, yeah. Oh, wait, sorry. And then Kodiak does Kodiak can take a truck, an existing truck, and within 3 to 6 months, they can make it into an autonomous truck. So that's huge. And Aurora's trucks cost 100,000. I don't know how much, or something, a lot. They're a lot. But the Kodiak can do it cheaper. So I'm going to say the next trending industry is most definitely autonomous trucks. And then
Awesome.
Humasite. Humasite made bioengineered human veins. And eventually, we'll see, everyone will see. They're FDA approved too.
Autonomous trucking, Aurora Innovations. You guys heard it. Let's move on to DeathSmiles. We haven't heard from you in a bit. Any pick for you?
I got a couple. I'm looking at NUAI right now. It's at $1.59. It also has warrants out, and the warrants are at 37 cents. It's going to be a good communication play. 9 Energy I like. It's at 65 cents. I can't remember what they were called before, but they do those battery pouches or whatever. They were manufacturing batteries, so that'll be a good play in the future once our battery technology kind of catches up, And then another company I'm starting to watch right now that I really like, but it's not public yet. They want to go public. Is that Slate Auto. I really like that truck and that whole concept and how it's going to be made in the US, and you're going to be able to pick up an EV truck that's fully customizable for under 20 grand. I mean, that thing seems like it's going to be a lightning storm of just, it is going to be great, man. I see that as genuine, positive, and finally something that's really going to compete with Tesla.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of
and that
natural
people can actually
PR.
afford too.
Yeah, people really like that one. It's quite interesting. It's getting organic PR, which is kind of like what Tesla is doing. And
yeah, I mean, I'm gonna spend the $50 and I'm gonna do a deposit on one just because I want to get one of the first ones. Whether they go public or not, I know they want to, but I'll be watching them, and when they do, I'll definitely be jumping into it.
very cool. Let's move on to Anthony. What is your number one penny stock pick? Or I guess just favorite other stock other than Hovr?
Yeah, sure. I figure if you get into a stock, there's a 50% chance it goes down, there's a 50% chance it goes up. I like those odds. So basically, Mr. William George Brumder, the guy that has between 5 to 10% of Hovr, he's got millions of shares of Hovr. And DeathSmiles has talked about this gentleman many times, and Brandon mentioned him and gave us publicly available information about him. This gentleman has gotten into GoPro. GoPro is doing well. He has gotten into TMC lately. TMC, the minerals company, they're doing very well. He got into Para Zero, the company that has the parachutes for dropping stuff from drones. They're doing very well. He got into Tron and TRON Inc., the guys that bought the toy company stock on the NASDAQ SRM so that they could be on the listed exchange. He got that company, Mr. William George Brumder, and it went when SRM, the toy company, got bought by Tron. Now gave him $100 million to get in there. It went from like 50 cents to $12 in June, and then it chilled up in the $9 to $12 range for about a little under a month, and then it just sold off like crazy because it got shorted into oblivion, and it hit $1.97 2 days ago, and now it's at $3.20 high, and now it's at like the high twos. So basically, I'm going with the Nancy Pelosi ETF strategy with Mr. William George Brumder because this guy's only got hot picks. So I'm into Tron. I got in at $2 basically, and I'm up like 50%. And I think some wild things might be in our future with this presidency and the stable coins because this Tron guy, Justin Sun's talking about being just like a micro strategy. And in years, as their 35-cent crypto goes up to $5, $10 or whatever it's going to do, this Tron coin treasury, it can do crazy things. And I like buying things when people are shit scared because it looks like a fantastic deal in the bargain bin to me.
I like that. I like TMC. TMC is not producing though. TMC, they're going to do the sea minerals.
Yeah.
They're not in 2028. I think that'll be big. That's a cobalt. I think
Yeah.
TMC could get an investor. I really do. Just like CRML got and MP and NB. TMC already had some investors, and Gerard likes to be at the White House, so that's good too. And that's
Yeah, I had TMC for a minute also. I sold it when it popped, but yeah, it's definitely a good play.
it's a long play. But if he gets an investor, because cobalt is needed, and then it could stop the war in the Congo, and then you feel good about yourself and you go to heaven. So I think that's a good one too, for sure.
I just keep looking at like what stock has the most upside, and then I keep comparing everything to Hovr, and it just keeps making me buy more Hovr.
And you said, did you say NUAI?
Yeah, NUAI.
That's a data. They're going to be a data center. I really like that. And they have an interview with the CEO on StockTwits. That's a data center. They're a helium company, and they own a bunch of land in Texas, and they're going to have the helium and the natural gas, and they're going to set up data centers on top of the property they own.
Yeah, they're going to do like all the fiber optic lines. They're going to do like hundreds and hundreds of miles of it and stuff. So it's a great play.
Great play. Energy and they can say if they do data center, they could be the next court. Well, I don't want to say they could do like APLD and Wolf. I think they can do that, and that would be nice.
Yeah, and they got warrants right now. So NUAIW, if you want to check out their warrants, you could always hedge with some of those.
I have some Hovr warrants.
Yep.
You do. I want to get some Hovr warrants. I need to get on your platform.
I think we all need to get on the warrant plan with Hovr and maybe with a couple other companies.
I'll have to see how these warrants play out. I don't really know how.
There is a lot of interesting companies. I need to look in NUAI. I know nothing about it. You guys.
Well, we should have Tom on one time. Tom is like the expert on warrants. He's explained it all to me a couple times. It all has to do with like how much time is left on the warrant versus the value and this and that. And there's just a bunch of variables, but it makes a lot of sense when he explains it.
Let me give you guys my penny stock, and maybe you guys will be interested in it. I don't know if Nicole knows it. I'm really interested if she knows it.
What?
Oh, and speaking of, real quick, it looks like I just want to quickly mention Jacob Perez has left, I think, the chat and not commented ever since he asked to marry you, and we said no. So I wonder if you're still there, Jacob. What's up? He was commenting before. Anyways. We have a few comments to get to, but we're kind of catching up now. We're getting close. So quickly, I'll give you my quick pitch. SCWO 374 Water. Have you ever heard of that company?
No, wait. What?
SCWO stands for Supercritical Water Oxidation is the ticker. And the company's name is 374 Water. 374 because that's how much degrees Celsius they boil the water to get rid of PFAS. So the quick synopsis on this is that we've all grew up learning there's three states, right? There is air, gas, and liquid. In fact, there is actually a fourth state that we didn't know about, which is called supercritical water. And that is somewhere between like, honestly, all three. I don't know exactly how to describe it. There's a chart. But it is once water gets to over 374 degrees Celsius, it's no longer regular liquid. It is now supercritical water, not water. And so what happens there is it obliterates. It doesn't filter, it obliterates all like bad stuff, toxins, but most importantly, PFAS, plastics in the water. And plastics are killing us. We have tons of plastics in our body, and the seafood. Plastics is everywhere in the last 60 to 70 years. Before then, we didn't make plastic, and plastic is a relatively new revolution that is affecting the environment, the world, and now us humans. In the past, I didn't care about it, recycling, whatever. I don't care that it ruins the ocean, but it does matter because then it gets back to our bodies and causes cancer and 20 plus other diseases that I can't even probably name and get into and remember right now. But point being, it's a huge problem. No one's talking about it and no one is doing anything about it except for this one company. There's a lot of other companies that are all in prototype, but this is the only company that is actually commercial. They have working plants in Orlando and in Orange County, LA. Now they're going to go to some other places. I don't remember where, but they're expanding all over. And what they're doing is filtering this plastic from water, from firefighter foam, where it has a lot that has a lot of PFAS there. And why is that bad? You probably think you're not going to have a fire and get that affected, but firefighter foam ends up in the landfills, in the sewers, in the water, and that gets in everywhere. So that's a big thing everywhere, even in our clothing. If you wear polyester, you're wearing plastic. It's absolutely everywhere, and it's a big problem. And so this is the only company that has a viable solution. Hopefully by some time other companies will, but they're banning plastic by 2029. Now their government, the EPA, is actually delayed it because they realize cities are not working fast enough. So now they delayed it to 2031. We have about 5 years till plastic will be banned from cities in our water and tap water and stuff like that. Right now, they're the only company that cities can hire. And so I'm extremely bullish. And also their market cap is like 40 million. So like we love to speak of tiny companies. They're 30 cents. So you can buy tons of shares. And yeah, I'm very bullish. But we should probably get back to the comments and Hover.
I'm gonna look at, because you know what else? Like lake study, and they said guys' water is filled with PFAS to get the PFAS out of people's water. That could be interesting. Definitely.
You know what's shocking? There is a website and I can share it, or you could just look up like what's in my water in your city, and you put in the zip code and it tells you all these different contaminants, and it's crazy. PFAS in my city is like 1,700 times the recommended amount.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's
it's not good.
crazy.
I've
So
drank a lot of lead water, so I think I'm okay, but I don't know. I think I'll be.
yeah,
If
they
they could take
say
it out, like,
there's a saying, our grandparents had a problem with asbestos, our parents had a problem with lead, and this generation has a problem with plastic. And asbestos and lead has already regulations, right? We have lead-based paint. You can't paint houses with lead anymore. And all these regulations, there's no regulation on plastic yet, 2031.
Real quick on a health note too, like, cause I told you my diet is the diet you're supposed to eat when you're sick. So I eat what you're supposed to eat when you're sick when I'm healthy. That's why I take the vitamins and the garlic and all that stuff every day. But even on that note, like even the ancient Egyptians, they had a form of colonic where they would get water into their stomachs and flush things out because you can absorb nutrients better and stuff like that. But even like all these people getting like colon cancer and stuff like that, you can go like a couple times a year and like get your entire intestines flushed out with reverse osmosis water at like a doctor's office and get all those particles out, because there are ways to sweat things out and to flush things out of your system that are kind of taboo to talk about. Like, who talks about colonics, you know what I'm saying? But like for real, like that'll give you like a 99% chance of not getting colon cancer and stuff like that. You can just get flushed out of everything. It's quite fast. You can sweat out radiation. Radiation's water removable and water soluble, because when they had the atomic bombs go off, they use the fire hoses just to spray it all into a particular direction to clean it out and everything. But yeah, there are things you can do. B3
but plastic
niacin.
is special. It's a new material. It's not something you can just flush out that easily. Like I explained, you need to get it to 374 degrees Celsius, and we're not getting our bodies to that. So it stays in our bodies forever. It's a forever chemical.
Yeah, but the scientific research on that isn't taking alternative things like colonic intestine flushing and sauna sweating into consideration. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You can
I think
sit
we
in the
should
sauna, sweat out the particles.
I think we should get back to Hover,
comments.
though. Let's get back to Hover. It looks like we have the Hustle Brothers here joined us also. Thank you. The Hustle Brothers, awesome that you guys are watching. What's up, Liam? I think Mark is watching too. I texted him a little bit earlier. He may be watching. Mark, if you're there, say hello. What's up, dude? Let's get to the comments. Anthony, you want to speed run us? We are at Tebow's comment up top there.
I want to speed run the comments because then I'll stop talking about my own thoughts.
Let's do it.
Okay, good. Here we go. So we stopped at the there we go. We did the okay, here we go. So Joel, quantum stocks are legit long term, but a hype bubble for now. Roger that. Steve says, good segue, Matan. Energy production needs to increase by a factor. Cool. Jared, Buru, question mark. I know that Nicole's bullish on Buru. I don't think any of us have an opinion besides that, but she likes it. She's in it. K Dean, it was 10,000. Okay. K Dean, let them do that when it's raining or snowing. Laugh my F off. Got it. Dean, K Dean, buy Hover. Roger that. Any stocks that you guys can disagree with? We'll get to that in a second because there's another one that's similar to that. So that was JL. Any stocks that you guys disagree with? We got Shala. Are there any bad scenarios for Hover? Because I haven't quite heard you guys talk about that. We will. Joel says hydrogen clean power. Their U.S. graphene will be in near everything soon. Wink, wink. Roger that. Mac M. Shannon AI is their partner. That's the real play. Thank you. Then we got Mac going public this month. Cool. Hustle Brothers. Hey guys. Hey Hustle Brothers. Let's see.
Oh,
Joe Phillips.
quick shout out to them. If you guys don't know who the Hustle Brothers is, they cover eVTOLs, they cover Hover, they cover Rocket Lab and a bunch of other well, they're awesome. They cover a bunch of stuff and they're on live also. So if you guys like these live streams, you can check their lives out. But I'm sure a lot of you probably here know them already. So check their channel out, give them a sub as well. And also to Nicole as well. She does all the same and more, covering a bunch of penny stocks that I've never even heard of. And like we just spoke of Buru that none of us know much about, but only she can speak of. So check out her channel if you're interested in Buru. Anthony, you may proceed.
Thank you, good sir. And we got Joel, Hustle Brothers in the house. That's right. Game recognized game. All right, here we go. Kelly Metz, I bought Hover warrants. Congratulations, Kelly. Good thinking. Hustle Brothers, big up to this panel. Thank you, sir. Hustle Brothers, love what you're doing. Likewise. That interview you guys are going to do with Brandon soon, unless he's too busy, that'll be beautiful. Maybe put in the comments, Hustle Brothers. Are you guys still going to do it? Because I know you said you were going to do it Friday. I don't know if you're editing or maybe he's too busy making fantastic deals with Mitsubishi. Brandon Robinson, he's a busy guy. Here we go. Tebow, hey Hustle Brothers, nice to see you. Beautiful. JL, what was the ticker that was for the PFAS one? Tell him that one real quick, Matan.
Sorry, I missed. I actually was just seeing Mark's text just quick on that Brandon Robinson interview. Unfortunately, it looks like they had to reschedule, so they're doing it next week. So to anyone who was, I was really looking forward to that. I thought they're going to post it today, but it looks like it'll be next week.
Yeah, what was the water one? SCWO?
Oh, the ticker of the PFAS, SCWO. And I think this is a good place to stop real quick. We had JL and Shala want to know a little bit about the bad scenarios of Hover and what we disagree on. I don't disagree on much. I think first of all, everything Brandon's doing is right. I love his approach. Maybe little things like, spending 75,000 on that convention or 150,000 a year on web development, but those are really minuscule and honestly are really whatever. So to the bigger picture. But the bigger picture, what I will say that is a little bit of a warning that I'm worried about and why I like something like SCWO. 374 Water was public before they commercialized. So the stock was at like $5 because of a lot of hype, because people expected them to start commercializing and making revenue, right? And the moment they start making revenue, it's just very early on. It's like pilot plants and little things. So they only made very little revenue. Like I think the first year, like 450,000 and then now 2 to 4 million or something. So very little revenue. And that tanked the stock from like $5 to like the 30 cents that it is now. But now I think the stock is at a point where, the revenue's catching up. People are realizing they're not dying. This commercial solution is working and they're catching up. So my point is, I'm worried the same thing will happen with Hover, where people are really hyping up because it's pre-revenue. And once they start selling and making their first few bucks, people are going to be like, oh, that's it. We expected a lot more, but you got to wait. It takes time to scale up, So that's my warning and my, yeah. What do you guys think? What's your concern of Hover?
The same thing that people start to realize that they are not revenue, and then they do the sell-offs like big. And also more institutional investors can also make it is not always a good thing, because then they can short the stock. as much as they want and like manipulate it. So that's a lot of people always look for the institutional investors, but sometimes they can fuck the littler people, so that's not always good. That would be something I'd say. Or a crash. A crash of one of these eVTOLs would be bad. But long term, I don't think it would matter.
True.
Except for
Death
the one that
Smiles. I'm curious, Death Smiles, because you are probably the most bullish of us all. Um, Actually, I've spoken of dilution a little before and stuff. Like, there's actually a lot of other things we can get into, but Death Smiles is all green flags upside from here. So, is there anything you can speak about that you have any downside concerns? Oh, maybe the amphibious thing, actually.
Just, yeah, I mean, that would be the only thing that, like I said, kind of rubbed me last time was just the emergency water landing deal. I kind of just want to hear more about that. And I think we just need to ask maybe a little more clearly next time we get to talk to him is all. And, maybe there is something in place that, satisfies that and it'll make me feel good about it. But other than that, man, like you said, all green flags. I don't see anything in the future, even the manufacturing. We got people to lean on. We got a nice IP portfolio. We can always do the royalties or whatever else. So I'm not worried about it.
I think they have a lot of stuff set apart because China eVTOL could be somewhat of a threat if EHang started making a lot of international sales, but they're still not a hybrid. So Hover's your only hybrid. I think that's good.
No, I think there's a few other hybrids, actually. No, there's quite a few other hybrids I've seen. They're all private, but
then they're
not doing it right. Let's just put it that way, even though they're hybrid. It's a mix of everything, right? The hybrid, the fan and wing, I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, you could still say you're hybrid, but then all of your fans are all electric. Even your pusher prop has an electric motor. At that point, the electrical failure, you don't have a gas engine to push your prop anymore, right? So converting an all electric to a hybrid is kind of like one avenue, but there still isn't like the double standard where my turbine engine is pushing my pusher prop, but at the same time, I'm using that to generate power off of a generator for my batteries and for my electric fans in the wings. We have kind of like the best of both worlds, in my opinion. And I don't think anybody else has that yet.
Real quick, I don't know, we didn't schedule exactly a time, but we are at 2 hours here. So if any of you have to get going soon, let me know. But I'm having fun, and there is a lot of people watching in comments, and I will give Anthony the floor real quick to give his opinion on any downsides of Hover as we did this round robin here. Anthony?
In my own personal life, I have seen the future, and I have zero red flags for Hover. My answer is, why would someone ask that question to begin with? Because just like, what does somebody, if someone does something on the other side of the planet, how does it affect you? People usually don't really concern about that. The reason somebody would ask such a question is because the real question is how is this stock going to perform for me? And I would just go with, if anything, the timeline to get everything to go. It's like, it is going to take a little bit of time for them to reach full blossom, rocket ride to Valhalla. We're mooning with Brandon. It will take a little bit of time. So I just say, is Hover going to make it? 100%. The real question is, are you going to make it? And my answer for that is make really good financial decisions in your own personal life, work really hard, make sure your savings account's good, your checking account's good, make sure you're, making good decisions with whatever stocks you got, and just, let Brandon Robinson do what he's going to do, because it's going to be beautiful. I've seen it, and I'm here to let you guys know it's going to be awesome.
Great.
Awesome. Let me continue with the comments here then. Kelly Met says, hi, Liam, or is it a different brother watching? Tebow says, SCWO. Hustle Brother says, hey, Kelly, it is Liam. Kelly Met says, yes, can't get enough info on Hover. Mac M, where's our Brandon Robinson interview, Hustle Brothers. Drop the date on the Reddit for us, then ghosted. No.
Yeah.
No, there he answers after Hustle Brothers says Liam says Brandon rescheduled all interviews to next week, not just us, Voz too, so it's out of our control. And I
Green
will say
flag. He's
also,
busy.
he is busy. He's very busy. And with my interview, you guys didn't know it wasn't scheduled. So I actually had the same situation. I did it a Friday later, a whole week later. So the interview you guys saw last week, it was funny because if you guys remembered, I only told DeathSmiles and Anthony, and I said, "Oh, damn, I really wish I had the interview today when he rescheduled it because it just hit like $2, and I was like, by next week it's gonna be $2.50 or $3, and it was literally hit. It literally hit $2.50 by the Friday when I had it with him. So that was funny. But yeah, he's busy. He has to reschedule and yeah, guys. Ian Care actually, hey guys, Mark, great discourse, he says. I didn't know that's Mark. What is that name? Did not know. What's up? What's up, Mark? Very cool. Do you have a channel? I will sub to your channel, or I guess not, but we gotta have Mark on here one time on the live stream. Mark is awesome, knows a lot about aviation. You guys have seen him on my channel. I've had a pre-recorded video of him, but a live stream would be cool also. I mean, he's on the live always on the Hustle Brothers, so you guys can chat with him there. Anyways, Kelly Met says, my first hover purchase was February 6, 2025. When was your first purchase? Interesting. My first purchase was December of 2024. Nicole, when was your first purchase?
I want to look. I know I did a lot when I was at the 45 cents. I had averaged it down. When here.
DeathSmiles, when was your first purchase?
300.
My first purchase was June of 2024, but I really loaded the boat in October, and I even got shares that I'm still holding at 26 cents.
Anthony, while Nicole looks up, you know.
My first hover purchase was October 2024, and then I got out around Christmas time when it was up, and then I started getting in as the year started progressing into 2025, and we were riding the slippery slope down into April 8th, Chat GPT, DeepSeek, scare time.
Yeah, mine was 305 days ago. I think I went in at a high, and then I would have got a lot more at the DeepSeek time. I said they're gonna come back. I'm 95% sure at the time, and then I was right, so I'm happy. I have an 84-cent average on Hover. That's why I want to figure out when to get more. Maybe in the low 2 range.
Yeah, if you can get it for
$2.40
$2.40 or less, you're in good shape. But I don't know if we're gonna dip below that anymore. We'll see. I think $2.50 is our new bottom.
Let me move on. Kadeen says, let people know, don't ghost. He did. He was clear. He was very clear. So we'll move on. Tebow says, Matan, I thought you would be picking a DuroClean technology stock as your stock choice. Not a bad pick. However, a Duro right now is at all-time highs, and I know anyone watching, if they look at the chart, they'll be like, I don't want to invest at all-time highs. I want to invest on the low, and it's not a penny stock anymore. So while I do love a Duro and I'm still super bullish and I'm holding my shares, I would right now I'm not buying more Duro. I'm just holding. I am actively buying SCWO as it's very, very low and looking very good to me. So yeah. Then he says, Vertical Aerospace is developing a hybrid version 2 to get bigger range for the defense industry. Okay. Still hover over Vertical Aerospace for me. Tebow says 1,000-mile range. You know what? I like XTIA over Vertical Aerospace if they're going for that 1,000-mile range too. What do you think of XTIA, Nicole? Do you know about that one?
Yeah, I've heard it. Is that the China one?
Yeah, check out their website real quick if you want. It's pretty cool. No, it's not a China one. I think they're in the US.
It's a big time reverse split one. It was a mess.
Oh.
Yeah, they had a lot of reverse splits, but their aircraft looks so sexy, I will say.
Yeah, God. There's a guy that's been watching Hover for a little over a year on stock Twitch.
I don't know.
and he
They don't
was
have
in
enough
that, and he
information.
wishes he never had been.
They had 84% bought in the past week, though.
Really? I've been buying a bit. It's been down.
They
But
they just appointed a veteran, an appoints aviation veteran to lead their eVTOL development on Monday, or no, on Thursday. That could be a turnaround for them. Steve Sobranian. I don't know.
interesting. Gotta look more into it. I have some shares of that. Overall, speaking of the whole macro, like I'm just macro on the whole eVTOL industry. While I do like Hover the most and have them the most, I have Archer, I have Joby, I have Surf Air Mobility, I have XTAA, and Bay Systems. Are
Oh,
you in anything else, Nicole, that's other than Hover? What are all your eVTOLs companies?
I wasn't Joby. Really, Hover, Archer. I hold Archer in my IRA, and then SRFM. That would be it. I don't
Awesome.
do too much. I have a lot of biotechs. That's my. But now I'm looking at this. I think this could be a nice play. This because this guy has to Boeing, and that could be your production. Because everybody knows Boeing sucks. I mean, well, that sucks, but I mean, they're crashing all the time. So that could definitely, that would be interesting. This one, I'm interested in this.
You should add it to your bingo card.
I don't know if I need to add it. The bingo card is very specific. I had to only put the ones that I really think could do something. I don't know about this, but that turnaround with this guy could be good. That's a nice, we'll see.
Well, check it out, do your own due diligence. And I'm also curious if you can check out a little more of SCWO, the 374 Water Company. And if you add those to your bingo card and really like those, let me know because, well, if Nicole likes it, I know some of them will like it. So green flag for me. And if you like it, I think some of them will be buying. So you can help the market cap a little bit.
I do like the PFAP thing because I do regularly drink the PFAPs and I'd like to not drink the PFAPs. So I think that could be good for sure. I mean, I think
Awesome.
WW is the graphite doing water stuff, I thought, but I'll see that one. But
Joel Phillips says, "Yep, agreed. Vertical is highly underrated. We'll be showcasing their hybrid over the next 2 years. Hover is still my number one eVTOL." Okay. I guess I got to pay more attention, but I don't know. I don't know too much about vertical aerospace.
they're only at $1.50, so now would be the perfect time. Their chart for the year looks like horrendous. They've had a
It looks like
That's
Mullen's
true.
chart, doesn't it?
it looks like this.
No, nothing looks like Mullen. Oh,
Not doing well.
yeah,
But
but
I
look
know-
at that short squeeze. You know,
Yeah, it gets squeezed pretty hard, but that's usually when you end up losing all your money.
no, that depends.
They were
Depends how you like.
$52 for a day on January 1st.
But that's the day you freaking sell. Like I bought in at like $2 a dollar range and it spiked in a day to like $7, $8. I sold at the peak top like 720 and it hit like 740 max or something. And then I've been buying now ever since at the $2 150 range. It could
When's
just
the IPO? Oh, a
yeah,
long time
I don't know, a while
Wait
ago.
till 2022.
Anthony, you've been a little quiet. Let me let you speed run through the comments. We have a lot here from Folio Beams.
Oh, you want me to do the heavy lifting? I seen the paragraphs this guy's putting in there. You're putting me on paragraph detail. I see how we're doing
I
it.
spoke a lot. I gotta catch my breath. You got your breath right now.
Okay, good. And one thing I realized with hearing what Nicole just said too, like Hover IPO'd at like 300 and something $1 million for $10 share price, and then they went down and did all they did. But like, look at all they have going for them now. Like, at some point a revaluation, price target raised, like that stuff's coming. You know what I'm saying? It's just gotta chill and not sweat the rent money like the big hedge funds. Here we go. I'm reading these paragraphs for the people. Let's do it. All right, so we got Fool's Beam. Recent news from Hover CEO Eric Brandon Robinson recently sold 180,000 shares of Hover stock amounting to $400,000. Full Beam says all this, so I'm just going to read everything he put. Not saying that's bad, but I still do plan to invest. Horizon Aircraft has made significant technical progress, including completing a full-scale transition forward flight, advancing full-scale prototype development in the company, actively testing propulsion technology, enhancing a simulated environment. It plans to certify the aircraft for instrumental flight rules and flight into known icing, working closely with Transport Canada Aviation. Additionally, Horizon has expanded its technical team to 50% in 2025. These developments, along with securing sufficient capital and a 450,000 grant from NERSEC of Canadian contribution, positive. Let me scroll down. Sustainable long-term timeline, cash needs, dilution risk, in quotation marks, heavyweight competitors, Archie, Joby, Lilium. And that was, no, we got a new guy, X Gamer. X Gamer says, that was all fool's beams, by the way. Now we got X Gamer, long certification timeline, cash needs, dilution risk, and heavyweight competitors, Archie, Joby, Lilium.
Good point. He's saying like at that as I think the downsides of Hover, long certification timeline. We have a lot of dilution in cash, and then competition. Those are good points, actually.
Oh wait, if
Um,
the Eric Robinson sold, he's still holding over 1.6 million. So he
Well,
sold $90.
it's his dad that sold, not really him. It's
That's
all out of
dead.
that E.B. Robinson trust thing. And if you
Yeah.
read like line 5 on the form, it says that, basically Brandon has no personal interest in any of that. It's all his dad. And whatever happened when they merged or whatever, it's like his dad's taking that out. His dad
And
still
his
has
dad's
his
old.
own
He should
personal
know.
ownership and shares in the company too. But, in my eyes, like he's an old man. He's probably going to be retiring at some point. And, he's taking that out and he's putting money over here and doing whatever he's
no, no,
doing. But that
no.
has nothing to do with Brandon.
We have an answer right here. Mac M, the next comment says Brandon Robinson got a $400,000 performance shares when the market cap hit 100 million as his bonus. Remember, it's the end of the fiscal year. Tax liabilities may, my dude. So I think I don't know. Did he sell his own shares or that's a bonus?
No, because
Because
their fiscal
100
year
million.
already ended. We got the end of the year report in October. So this would be part of the first quarter for their filings.
Speaking of quick little sidetrack, I'm curious, Nicole, what do you think of, or any of you think of? Elon Musk recently just had a new compensation package saying, I don't know how much money he's going to make, $1 trillion or something, a payment package when the market cap reaches 8.5 trillion. Tesla, $8.5 trillion market cap. I fucking love it. What do you guys think of that?
Well, good luck to him. I don't know. I like that slate truck a lot, man. I think he's got some competition coming soon.
Oh, Tesla's not about the car, it's going to be the robots and
Well,
robotaxis.
if you talk robots, I really like what is it, Boston Dynamics or whatever.
Oh yeah, they
But
were.
they're a private company, and I think they're owned by Toyota or somebody or Honda.
What do you
I
like
can't remember.
about
They're owned by
them?
somebody.
They've been around for 20, 30 years and haven't done much.
No, their robots were on the America's Got Talent. Their robots did a whole dance. It was
Who
crazy.
Yeah, and
cares?
they have that
Fucking
Spot the
help me
Dog.
clean my dishes.
They're just
Dude, if you
dancing for
watch
now.
some of their videos, their robots can do flips and run around and do all kinds of stuff. They're pretty cool.
They're the dog ones though, and I don't think those dog ones are going to be doing anything nice for people. Those ones are like the police type ones, but I
But
guess
that's the difference. They're cool. They're not practical. They're not boring and useful like Hovers aircraft, as Brandon says in aerospace. Boring is awesome. Like we don't need something cool. Like all these crazy eVTOL concepts we've looked at, their aircrafts look so cool and crazy. But look at that Aleph flying car. Like it looks crazy. It looks like a Tesla that flies in the air. What the hell are they doing? Like that's not gonna work, but it looks cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those look so stupid. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they will. But then you have to act like everybody has a pilot's license and
That's
people
what
can
I'm saying.
drive.
It makes no sense.
That is just going to be, I don't even know. Unless the eVTOL, unless it's they can fly for you, but they don't really drive for people yet, so I don't see that. I don't know.
And they're already pre-selling $300,000 pre-selling these things.
Are those the big black ones that get put on ABC News and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see those taking off. I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong. I
reached out to their CEO. I want to interview him. He looks like a snake oil salesman, and I want to just ask him a bunch of questions, to be honest.
Who did pre-sell these cars to?
Oh,
That's what they're
consumers like
saying?
you and me. I have a friend who bought it, like regular people, like pre-selling to retail.
Does your friend know how to fly?
No, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense. No, he doesn't know how to fly. That's right. That's a great point.
Are these people gonna have to go get pilot's license?
And you know what's more interesting? They're going after ultra lightweight category, which is under 255 pounds. The aircraft has to be. My friend alone is like 250 pounds. Like, how is the aircraft gonna?
He better find a really skinny girlfriend, or he's not gonna be able to drive with her. I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense. But anyways, let's move on here. Daydreamer Professional says, X-Gamer, Lilium has no heavyweight and it's a thing from the past. Made me some good profit though. Cool. Lilium's a really cool aircraft, by the way. That thing would have been awesome. But all right. Hustle Brother says, Anthony, your proper makes me laugh. Big shout out to you, my guy. Maybe Anthony, you know what, let me let you read this because yeah, you make them laugh. So you can speed run through these.
All right, here we go. Fully Beam CC, thoughts on Serve Robotics? I personally love them. Yeah, that was what NVIDIA was in them, and also RR, they were in there, and a couple other things. Yeah, probably going to do great. Full Beans also says, plus they're in my city now, Chicago. Oh, very nice. Serve Robotics in Chicago. Very good. K. Dean, Yamaha, Dog Rider in Fire. Very poetic, K. Dean. Thank you. Mac M, I defer to DeathSmiles. Not up to date on how Canadians do things. Hey, I don't know if anybody's up to date with how Canadians do things. They kind of got their own frequency, you know? Here we go. They're chilling. They're like the Northern American Hawaiians, you know. They just chilling, baby. And here we go. I defer. Oh, here we go. Four more. Joe Phillips. Hyundai owns Boston Dynamics now. That's very exciting. And then we got Tebow. He says, "Yep." And then K. Dean says, "Kawasaki." That's a name you haven't heard in a while. Kawasaki. They're doing everything from keyboards to motorcycles, baby. They're like the Bombardier of Japan.
Awesome. Thanks for the speed run. Looks like we finally caught up. Wow, we just went up. We're 30 people watching. I was about to say we've been going on for over 2 hours. Maybe we should wrap things up. But is there anything you guys want to talk about? Anything on your ends before we wrap it up?
I talked to Tom here. He texted me. So if we want to do a thing on the warrants next time, he'd be happy to come on and talk about them and explain them to everybody.
Awesome. Yeah, sure. Let's plan it.
Yeah, man, educate us because I'd like to learn myself. I kind of got a little bit of a grasp of it, but I think it'd be great if we all kind of understood it.
I'm really curious of getting in the warrants. Let's do that. Let's do a whole episode just for that. I would say we can just have Tom on right now if he wants to join, but I think it'd be a little too much and rather do it on a separate episode.
Yeah, we can figure out a text and we'll work it all out between ourselves.
Awesome. Nicole, is there anything you want to share maybe before we get wrapped up?
No, I don't think so. I think it is like, I think Hovr is a good pick. One of the top 10s, I would say, on my list.
Number one.
Yeah, what's your number one, actually? I don't even know if that's top 10.
Humasite. I might say Hovr's top 5. If I really had to say Humasite, I have to say. And then, wait, let me, the miners. I think the mining.
Awesome. Okay.
You. I like that one too.
And I guess I'll leave you last,
NB.
Anthony. Is there...
They need the neodymium for the Hovr.
That was really fun. That was really fun. Nicole, you're beautiful, very smart. Thank you very much for being on. And hopefully we'll have you on again. I imagine we will because you're tops. You're definition number one in the dictionary for tops. And
You know what? Should we have Anthony sing us one more song?
Oh God, is somebody requesting it?
I am. Anthony had a nice song before we went live.
Oh, and he just
Yeah,
I
put
want
let
to
it in
me
the
hear it
see.
middle of the
again.
live.
Well, that's going to be definition number 1 in the dictionary for not happening.
All right, all right.
Oh. I will
Let's
say this. I've been taking garlic every single day for a month, and it's fucking changed my life. So I highly recommend taking garlic every day as a pill, but keep your toothbrush with you when you're in social interaction situations.
Jesus.
Hovr, let's go.
Let's go.
let's go. Let's go, Brandon. And thank you, Nicole. Thank you so much. Hustle Brothers, love it, guys. Keep this up, momentum, focus, and passion. Going to grow the space massively, Matan. Sing me a song, I beg, he says. And Joel says, you all X the Hustle Brothers equals rocket ship. Let's take this hover to the moon for sure. Awesome. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And thank you, Anthony, DeathSmiles. And big shout out. Thank you, Nicole. Check out her channel if you guys haven't. And yeah, as always, until next time, stay thinking, question everything, and peace out.
Bye.